Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
All right. We are finally here. Thank you guys for your patience. You know what I mean? I got caught in some crazy traffic. So it totally just delayed me. I mean, it just totally delayed me. But yet and still, I'm still here. And I was supposed to come on earlier today, but the plans did not go, like I wanted them to. Hit the like button as you come in. We're still going to get it on. You know, it's a lot going on right now. We just are also preparing for the funeral of our beautiful sister Zamariah. So we got a lot of different things going on at one time. Okay, to prepare for this week. So however, I did still want to come on. I had an actual Bible trivia thing to do, but what I realized is that I actually forgot that Skype. I told you guys that Skype ended up shutting down and it went to Teams. So I'm gonna have to get with AC to see the best route, if I'm just going to deal with Zoom, or am I going to get another type of call-in number for you guys to be able to call in, because I just couldn't do it at the last minute, already coming in late. The other day on my way to the Sabbath, it was just looked like end of world traffic out of nowhere. So I had to go one way. I had to turn around like 5 different routes. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. I said, boy, they like Elder REI ain't gonna make it to the Sabbath this week. And that was the first time I had ever saw that. But it was really just some construction going on. So, but yet and still, we still made it. And then, it's so much other things we're working on at the same time. So I do have a lesson tonight, because I've been paying attention to what's going on in the world, and I think that we need to discuss it. I think the topic of the hidden war against the hidden ones. I mean, really, it's the hidden ones against the hidden ones. And what I mean by that, it's that shadow government, which some may call the reptilians or the fallen angels, who hide in darkness from the light of Christ. Really, it should be hidden ones against hidden ones, because that's really the battle that's really going on, right? So we're going to go through. We're not going to be on too long tonight. I'm already late, so I know the East Coast is like, man, is Elder coming on or not? Listen, we will be coming on far earlier, so you're probably going to be shocked, but we definitely will be coming on early a little bit, probably like 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, no later than 5:30 from now on, because we're finally just finishing up some things here. So, but yet and still, I'm here. But before we go forward and check out some of these things that we're going to talk about tonight, because I tell you, when it comes to our health, when it comes to our living conditions in Babylon, it's a lot of things going on in this place we inhabit right now. And they're coming for our people, in a stealth type of manner. That's just how Esau does it. He's, it's basically, it's like spiritual life chess. Okay, so They psychologically play with our people's minds. They keep us busy with things that don't matter. As you know, one thing of that right now is Tory Lanez and the Puffy case. And they're saying something about 33 weeks since he's been, I heard that number just recently, 33 weeks since he's been in jail or something like that. I don't know, that his case is coming. So, you know, they like to play with numbers. I don't know how true that is, but it's so much information going out there. And, you know, it's a distraction. We need to be focused on how we're going to make it through Jacob's trouble and these times. And guess what? We will and we can if it be the Most High's will. Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk about a few things to help to bring us up to speed in the type of mindset we have to have. Excuse me, to make it through these times. I just ate a burger and some fries, so maybe some of that oil that they have in there is just not agreeing with me, because sometimes you eat from some of these restaurants and they just use sunflower oil. Personally, I don't use sunflower oil like that. I use extra virgin olive oil that comes from one country. I use, coconut oil. I really don't use too much other things outside of tallow and ghee butter and those oils. That's just really what I use. And it's just like, man, what do you guys have going on in there? So my wife gonna bring me a little homemade kombucha. You know what I mean? To clear some of this stuff up. This stuff is straight trash. You know what I mean? You go there because they have real beef, but just because they have real beef don't mean they have real oil. And they definitely don't have real bread. Some of you who don't know, you need to get your hand on some of that, the wheat berries. You need to get your hand on some of this wheat. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother subject we could talk about. We've talked about it before, but we're going to have to bring it back out again. I want to give a shout out to all of my brothers and sisters who have all of these health testimonies that I'll probably get in trouble for if I put them on here. It means hundreds upon hundreds of people who just, boy, I have to be careful what I say. Just come to KIIYSupplements.com. You know what I mean? To check out some of this iodine. Read the book, The Iodine Crisis. People who dealing with all types of sort of ailments, diabetes, high blood pressure. Listen, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Christ said we come here to heal and help the people. And anyway, let me get this announcement really quick, because we do have a you understand, another academy, all right, coming on June 1st. So make sure you guys enroll. And I'm going to tell you this: if you are planning to be, you know what I mean, if you're planning to get to know your God in a short amount of time, you know what I mean, especially if you're new, you want to take this academy because it's going to bring you up to speed. It's just going to bring you up to speed. And then you can go back to our A Gathering 144 channel. Hopefully you're subscribed to GOCC Media and our main channel, A Gathering 144. Okay. But this is going to bring you up to speed. But this time we just changed the theme. And I remember when Elder Ricard, we was all in a room overseas in Egypt when this first came out. This theme, Babylon, Rome to America. I remember us having the books out. I remember. So for me, this is beautiful. And in time, they have added so much more to this. So just to see where it started and where it's come, it's pretty powerful. Right? So check it out. Don't miss out on what everyone is talking about. The Hebrew and Bible Academy is experiencing its best year ever with brand new lessons, timely news reporting. Okay, the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church would like to invite you to enroll in the next Hebrew and Bible Academy, okay? Which starts on Sunday, June 1st, 2025, 9 a.m. Now, the good thing about this is you understand, like I said, this Babylon, Rome to America, one, is going to be powerful. Two, It's only $150 a month. You're not going to go into debt with this. Praise the Most High. It's going to be an investment towards your walk. You understand, through your pathway through the kingdom. You're not going to go into debt. Everybody has $150, and for those who don't, they sometimes give out, free spots for you to get in the academy. And you're going to be, let me tell you, just totally equipped. This is your spiritual tool bag. Your spirit. Thank you very much for this beautiful kombucha. Did you squeeze a little lemon up in that thing? Yes, indeed. Don't try to act all shy now. Take care of your man. That's what I'm talking about. See. Have beautiful kombucha to clear me out. If I ain't drinking raw milk, kefir, sauerkraut, fresh meal bread on the homestead, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Get me right. Get me right from this mess. Anyway, so my body, I know my body so much. When I eat certain things, I'm like, oh, they must not been using the right oil, whatever. Anyway, let's get back on point. You know, when you go to college, there's nothing wrong with going to college. That's an investment for you to make money in your life. This is a spiritual investment, and it also helps to work. So make sure, if you're not signed up, you go ahead and sign up to our Hebrew and Bible Academy. It's going to start on June 1st. Once again, the Academy's theme is Babylon. For those of you who are new and may not know what Babylon is, the area or anything like that on the map. Okay, so ancient Babylon is over there very near, okay, to the land, the ancient land they called Shinar by East India. Nimrod would be your modern day East Indians, okay? So you got Babylon, Assyria, all of these areas over there near Iraq. You understand? Even in the Bible, it says erect, and which is a base or root word for erection. They erected the Tower of Babel. That in the scriptures you'll see ERECH, and they changed that to Iraq modern day. Okay, so we're teaching you who these people were, where they come from, all of that, and how the white Romans, or the red Romans, who God calls them red, Esau or Edom, red, okay, how it all have come from Babylon all the way from us going into slavery into America and where we are now in that time. How, it was called spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, and it's also called the daughter of Babylon. Notice how all these gas stations are ran by Babylonians, ancient Babylonians. They're here running these gas stations. You see, they're all in bed with the beast, the Shashu. Okay, so we're going to go into all of these different things for you. The Shashu meaning the Edomites. They have different names. They try to hide themselves. Or are they Jews? Yes, they're Jews. We're not going to lie and say the white people in Israel are not Jews. They're just Jews by conversion. You can go all the way back to the book of Josephus. Boy, you can tell I've been reading this book for years. This thing got all notes. I done read this whole book. You see what I'm saying? This is a good read right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go into a little bit of this today. And on our subject tonight, we're going to go into there so you can understand where we are in this time and why our God may move a certain way, okay? So, the history of the Tower of Babel, the secret war of Edom against the Israelites. You can tell I'm in the spirit. I hadn't even read that yet. The desolation of abomination in the book of Daniel. How to calculate time according to the Bible. Very powerful lesson. You need to know about the time. If you don't know about the time, the secrets of the times we're in, and how they added time, how the Bible said they shall think to change times and laws, man, you want to get in here, and you're going to be totally equipped. And you're going to have a lot of fun. How to calculate time according to the Bible. A nest above the stars. Satan's space program. So we have a new lesson added to that to show you what it's all about. And I am just going surface level tonight about the hidden, you understand, some of the things that, this force is doing behind the scenes. They have so many different systems that they operate under. They have so many different countries that they operate under. Okay, so their COINTELPRO, their NASA, their what's these other programs? Their Homeland Security, their CIA, their FBI, all of these different programs. What's another one? DARPA. Let me tell you, these people operate under all of these different things. And don't forget, the medical and health sector, okay, have turned into which really it have always been. We are just coming to the knowledge of the truth. And I believe that the Most High is taking, and we'll talk about that a little deeper today. As a matter of fact, let me save that. The final battle of Armageddon that you see already moving as we speak, where all of these armies are being moved into the Middle East, what they call the Middle East. Okay, I would say Northeast Africa, what they call Africa now. Okay, they're all being moved into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And so they have a certain plan against us, we'll talk about, and our God is going to use that against them. Okay? Why? Because they didn't keep their end of the deal. They wanted to go way harder, okay, keeping their foot on our necks more than what the Most High told them they should have. Okay? So, we're going to be talking about those things tonight. And the return of the roundtable discussion on covenant under fire. Will your marriage stand? Will your marriage stand? Man, that's a powerful one because, man, we're going to have to go into some more topics. When I'm looking at the youth, not to blame, on social media, these people have made Instagram like it's a part of them now. Instagram, like even people who don't make money on it, some people, like the Bible says, are lovers of themselves. Sisters get their hair done. They just want to be on there. And it's like they don't really have a life outside of that. Their life is people who praise them and say, you're cute today, you look good today, and put a like on Instagram. Brothers, same thing. You need to get you some business. We're going to talk about that tonight. You need to get you some business. While you on there, sisters smiling and thinking you cute, hey, while you on there, hey, maybe you want to show you doing some godly, things that deal with morals, okay? And maybe do the opposite of what the world wants, not just physical looks, showing your body to get a man. You know what type of man you're going to get? You're going to get a dog. That's what you're going to get. I don't care if it's in the truth. You're going to get a dog because you're showing it all. Okay? Brothers all in sisters DM. Let me tell you, brother, you got to be in nobody's DM. You got to be in nobody's DM. You work hard, you build something for yourself, and you pray to the Most High, that woman will be right before your eyes and won't even know it. Okay? It's a whole nother subject, though. Will your marriage stand? They'll be talking about certain things like that in here. Okay? In my personal opinion, the way this thing is going, the immaturity of brethren and the hiding, whether it's pride, cockiness, and the hiding of Judah, not wanting to step up to their plow without just dealing with some type of pride, thinking that they have to keep stepping over one another. I think brothers shouldn't really be getting married today. To me, personally, 35 and over. If you mature, early 30s. And if you are old soul, 20s. If you're old soul mean you were raised around proper principled men. Because you don't know what you want, what you doing, who you are a lot of times in your 20s. You talking about, listen, I've been in this truth 16 years now. I done seen a whole lot. None of us were perfect, but I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not saying no 25 to 30. A lot of men just now getting mature at 25. And I'm not even putting the age on it. I'm just throwing that out there. But what I'm seeing with the immaturity and the fear of Judah, I'm not talking about the talk of it. I'm not talking about the talk of it. I'm talking about the walk of it. See, when you establish yourself, you ain't, you know what I mean? Instead of thinking about a woman establishing your foundation in the Most High and your work, you're not playing around at that age. And then when you want to go get you, a young woman, she's it's no question if you're the man. You're not gonna have to tell her I'm the man. You got to follow the scriptures. You ain't even worried about if she want to or not, because you know you can get you one. Not through cockiness, but I'm saying it's just known. All right? Because young women don't know what they want out there. They want a cute boy that they can argue with. And knowing that Christ said, oh, you can't just divorce, so they give you a hard time on purpose. So with all that being known with these Instagram type of generation, y'all might want to think about what you hopping into, because you bring yourself back into the curses. That's on you. You raising cursed babies now instead of blessed babies going into the kingdom. Okay? So I'm just giving you wisdom. Men, be patient. All right? So I had to say all that because this is a beautiful topic. Will your marriage stand? A lot of people marriages, if they're not in tune with the Most High, standing on 10 toes on their position in the Bible, women stand in their position in men, and nothing's going to be perfect, but that's being used as an excuse. That's being used as an excuse. If a woman loves the Most High, she's going to stand in her position, follow her man, knowing he's not perfect, allowing the Most High to work with him. Instead of her trying to force him, let the Most High work with him and back him and see where that goes. See? So, y'all better get in this academy. Y'all better get in this academy. I'm telling you right now. So, it's time to get on with the show. I'm wondering, Elder, what if they can't contain themselves? There's a law that says if they can't, then they can get married. But personally, I wouldn't just follow a scripture just because it says that, knowing if I just get with a woman as a tool, that doesn't mean I'm going to have a good marriage. A woman is not a tool. That wife should be your best friend if it can be. A person who you can trust. You burning, you just need to get a fornication mission off. You just need to get a you know what I mean? A fornication situation off. And I mean, hey, that's not going, really, you still going to go to hell. So really, you need to get yourself under control as much as you can. We've all burned, and we're a nation of fornicators. We've saw is fornication and things like that. So I get it, but let me tell you, it's worthless if we're coming together to go back into the curses. I get what Paul said. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can go marry, but I'm telling you right now, you don't want to get married just to go to hell. That's all I'm saying. That's why Paul said, I'd rather you be like me. Because if you ain't going to do this right, it's pointless. That's all I'm saying. It's just pointless if you're not going to do it right. Y'all going to turn my lesson into marriage. No. We can't do that. I want to talk about what I want to speak about tonight. So let me bring up a few articles, man. I have my scriptures here ready. I have some news that's going on. So tonight we'll be talking a little bit about what we need to do to continue to stay ready to keep from getting ready in these times. A lot of the things that they're trying to hit us with in this war. And I'm going to give you an example. A lot of misdiagnosis have been going on for many years. We were children. The Most High had grace on us. We were young, playing in the neighborhoods, playing in the hoods, playing in the apartment complex, playing in the boroughs, wherever, playing in the alleys, no matter where you are. And we know us. We was out there eating hot Cheetos. We were out there eating lemon heads, Boston baked beans. We were eating all of these different things. We were eating these Debbie cakes, that our mothers probably had food stamps on. I mean, you remember the paper food stamps? You remember the paper food stamps? You can go in the store and get the little cookies with the pink icing on them. You remember the old school honey buns with the white icing that you could just go to some of those old little mom and pop type of little stores, right? We grew up on these things. We grew up on these things, and you know, well, you don't, Amaya, you don't have to live stream me on TikTok. If someone wants to come, they can just come here. I'd rather them just come here, but I appreciate you. Please, if you don't mind. I'd rather them just go ahead and come here. I know, Amaya, but I'd rather them just come here. We had someone trying to, you could just send them here or whatever. We had someone trying to do that for the academy already. So I just rather the people just come here personally. But anyway, the candy, you remember how cheap the candy was? You can go in there 25 cent, 50 cent, whatever the case may be, and get you some of these different things. Moon pies, you remember the moon pies, the oatmeal little cream pies? Well, come to find out, all of these things were GMO foods back then. They were artificial things that we grew up on. But you could tell, just like in Egypt, that the Most High had to have mercy and grace on us, not knowing no better. We didn't even know who we were. We had Martin Luther King, we had Malcolm X, and whatever other saviors we had in that time. You know what I mean? You had it for self-destruction type of music back then. You had all of these different positive, you understand, things, right? And the Most High had mercy on us. He had grace on us. I mean, some of us, we didn't even drink water. We were drinking soda pop. You remember we called it back then soda water. Did you drink water today? Yeah, I drank some soda water. That's not water. We drunk soda water. Brothers and sisters walking around with liver splash, because we ain't drinking no water. But brothers and sisters, those days are over. And I'm not saying those were the good old days. We had mercy. We had grace upon us. We are literally living in a time where they are hitting us even more hard. Yeah, we had the Kool-Aid with a bunch of sugar in it. And let me tell you, we just like in Egypt, the Most High, when Pharaoh was trying to kill the firstborn, and the midwives were trying to protect the Hebrew slave children, which are the kings and the chosen of the Most High. But we don't forget, we were slaves in Egypt at one point. We were captive in Egypt. And they were just trying to destroy all the males, the male child, you understand, and whatever the case may be. But the Most High will preserve us. In the book of Jasher, it talks about with milk and honey from a rock, from like a flint rock. And then they would get up and just go back into society. Well, they've been hitting us with all types of shots since we were young. And our parents thought that these were the right things to do. They didn't know any better. They were trusting, what I call a force or medical mercenary today. We trusted them. And it seems like nowadays, the more you go there, the more numbers of people are not coming back, or they're coming out with something worse. I'm going to tell you something. You have people who passes parasites, sisters, for example, uterine fibroids, different things like that. It scares them. They go to the hospital, for example. And I talked about this on my live on I'm a Lion, I Ain't Lying. They get scared because they don't know what's going on. You trust the doctor to tell you, hey, you're passing something. Instead of this, they tell you, oh my goodness, you have this, you have that. They scare you in your mind. You tell the family gets scared. Hope is lost. No type of faith, no understanding the herbs, no understanding I need to exercise or get a diet. This is what's been going on lately. Death camps. And we've been talking about this since 2020, right? But a lot of new people is coming in, and some people just may not be aware that a lot of people are falling on their own sword with some of these diagnoses. I'm not saying in every manner, but you know, so if it's not misdiagnosed, it's lies that are diagnosing people, and them not even giving you alternative things that can actually heal you outside of pharmaceuticals. Now I'm going to be careful how I speak on here because we all know that we don't want the page to get flagged, but it's a hidden war, a stealth war going on all around us in the air. Every night you look up, you're going to see, like Elder Carr talks about this too in his area. I was overseas even seeing it. I read a bill that a YouTuber I used to watch called Dabu 7 brought out. It was an actual bill that they were using these type of chemtrails with heavy metals in there to other countries for warfare. And then all of a sudden I'm starting to see them over here. And they'll paint the sky at night, so when you wake up in the morning, it looks like it's clouds or it looks foggy, but it's really a lot of heavy metals. Now, obviously, Praise the Most High have came out with this Lugos iodine that chelates heavy metals like no other. Okay, and brings you back normal. Because some of these things, these creatures or critters inside will even eat your iron, which is a heavy metal. That's a good heavy metal though. Not like the aluminum, the barium, the strontium type of heavy metals. They're killing us in the air, the food. You don't see how we continue to hear about listeria. We're hearing about recalls when it comes to frozen food or this food or that food. Well, it's like people are starting to ask, well, what are we going to eat? I'm going to tell you guys something. When you're looking at these governments, don't forget I read you a few months ago about the conflict between Satan with Adam and Eve. And how, or was it a testament of Adam? No, I read the testament of Adam. How it talked about how the angels, they also work in the governments. Not just the bad angels. So you're going to see good and evil come out of some of these governments. For the purpose of, because don't forget the Most High has control of the angels of destruction. What he allows, he will allow. You will see evil come out for the sinners. And as a belt. And as a warning, and as a trumpet blower, meaning we can't say that we have not gotten the signs. The grace is running out for some of the things that we had grace on before. We finding out they had rocket fuel and some of these Twinkies and all type of things. This little Debbie section, the hair section, the just for me, the bras, also causing parasites. Or cancers, whichever one you want to call it. Because of the material, it's not, our bodies are alive. The material, it's not right. Yoga pants, plastic pants that sisters are wearing in the gym, where their secret parts cannot breathe. Okay, we have to breathe. You notice how you put vegetables from the store in the refrigerator in a plastic bag too long, they go bad because they need to breathe. We're living beings. Our bodies are made up of so many microbes, so much good bacteria, and they are destroying it with heavy metals, feeding parasites in our bodies. You understand? Feeding them sugar. So I'm going to tell you something. When you see me going forth with all of these different things, the lifestyle of Babylon that we're going to talk about tonight, the food, the air, they're hitting us from all sides. We talk about these things a lot. But it's a little bit more serious, and I think we need to take it a little bit more serious. We're not having these shows and talking about it just to be speaking, guys. It's happening right before your eyes. They are taking people out without using a gun. Okay? The fear is first. The music that's in our ears, it taught us. It you know, and a lot of these people who they put out there, they were also agents. Who didn't want to be like Tupac when they grew up? Who didn't want to be like these sisters wearing these long nails and a latch? It's still happening today. So it's a hidden war against the hidden ones. We want to be like who we see has the money, not knowing these people are all bought, paid for, and chewed up and spit out when they're done with them. So let's go ahead and first I'm going to read this from the Josephus. I'm not going to put this one on the screen. We are at the Antiquities of the Jews, book 3, chapter 1, section 4. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to go, I haven't read this in a while. Then I'm going to go into some of these links that I have. Now listen. Let's see here. Where should I start? Let's see. Well, this is us when we were in the wilderness with Moses, our shepherd at the time, our forefathers. Okay. Let me see. Where should I start? But as for Moses himself, I'm just going to start there. But as for Moses himself, while the multitude were irritated and bitterly set against him, he cheerfully relied upon the Most High and upon his consciousness of the care he had taken of these his own people. And he came in the midst of them, even while they clamored against him, and had stones in their hands in order to dispatch him. And I'm going to tell you what I've been practicing since I've been young in this truth. I started when I was 24. I'm 40 now. And let me tell you, not to complain, to be grateful, not to murmur. I was at my mother's house the other day, and my neighbor called me and says, "Hey, your cow is out." And me, I'm it was a side that we didn't have the electric fence wired on, and I'm like, okay, I see why the Most High doesn't let you get too comfortable with things that are food. They purposely don't listen to a certain degree. You have to beat them into submission. You have to discipline them into submission. And you have to keep little electric shock things around or certain things. So I was just relaxing with my mother. Hadn't seen her in a while. I wanted her to see her grandchildren. And I stayed calm. Anytime something is happening, I stay very calm. As you get older, if you allow yourself to get experience and wisely stay calm. Okay. I had to go under my house to, because I have a mobile home, right? So I had to go under my house because some cats had got under my house before, and they have taken down the the air vent. So I had to go under that thing. It'd be black widows under that thing. It could be, so the AC water so leaking, and I had to fix that. Who wants to go into the house? So I'm like, well, you either spend $1,000+ or you do that. Look, stayed very calm. You got well water. When you have well water, sometimes you have to have a house filter to filter out certain sediments or sand or whatever. Very clean water, though. I'm like, okay, you'll know when the water slows down, you got to go change it. It's a huge house filter. Stay very calm. Anytime something goes wrong, you need to stay very patient, add patience unto patience, be very calm. And I tell people, when I'm telling you about the homestead, you never hear me about the complaining parts, about the hard things that I have to do. I stayed out when I left my mother's house till 2 o'clock in the morning almost. Okay, I left at like 10 something, close to 11, got home, prayed to the Most High. I said, Father, please let this cow come back in because I don't want it to eat the neighbor's fruit trees, because they just go through the barbed wire. This land already had barbed wire when I came, but these beasts don't care about that. It comes through the barbed wire as I'm trying to get it in. Just let it scratch it and come through. No pain. Okay, and I stay out there with, she's going to have to go to the factory though. Okay. Stayed out there with my wife. We put another electric line out there. Ended up going to bed at 3 a.m. Came home. Thank the Most High. Not one complaint. Not one murmur. Because life can be far worse. And it's about to get far worse for a lot of our people. So our mindset is going to need to be on not murmuring, not complaining. Because guess who doesn't like that? One, men don't like that. Righteous men don't like complainers, whether it be other men or whether it be their children or their wives. You know why? These type of men are made in the image of God. Not that the other ones are not, but they're not even thinking about that, what we're talking about. The Most High is a man. He does not like complainers. Weak complainers. People who don't want to work hard or do anything. Christ, his son, came down and said, hey, I'm going to cast this dude to hell because he didn't flip the talent that I gave him. He's like, listen, this dude just chilling and sitting back and just living. No. So we're going to go through some scriptures about that too. All right. So the first thing we're talking about is while the shepherd is out there complaining against Moses, but Moses is not complaining. I had my sheep out one day. And I said, I finally realized something. My sheep were out eating. I was in the house remodeling and working. And usually I don't let them to go and graze and forage unless I'm outside, me or my son, or shepherding them. But I said I'm going to keep an eye on them every now and then because they're really good sheep. You can't expect them to be totally perfect. Okay? So isn't that something for the actual real sheep of the Most High and the shepherds that are over them? Isn't that funny? No pun intended. I come out, get ready to go. And, I started off with just 4 sheep this time because I lost a lot of other goats through parasites. So I wanted to start off with a new robust type of breed to see how they go for me. And they're pretty nice and big. So the females always want to run off. It's crazy. Me and you Rock talk about this. The females always want to be the ones to run off, just like in the garden. I go out there and I get them from an area I don't want them at because I'm like, okay, they went a little far, but not too bad. I clap my hand. That's my little signal. Yeah. That's my little signal I do to get them inside. They're going where they have to go. And I said, you know what? I'm missing a sheep. Never have I've been missing a sheep since I had them. Okay, the goats, I'm not shocked about the goats. I know the goats, they're going to go wherever they're going to go, but they will come back. That's just how the goats are. That's just how the goats roll. They're going to go to somebody else's land. They're going to find wherever they want to eat, even if it's a little twig, spiky bush, they will be back. I'm not worried about them. We don't really have wolves and stuff around here. So, we got coyotes, but they're not going to do nothing. So, but for the sheep, I said, man, I'm thinking about the scriptures while I'm taking my sheep in. I said, wow, I'm missing one. I have to actually go to not be late to my mother's. This is before the cow got out. I just wanted them to graze before I left to my mother. She stays about 45 minutes away. So I'm like, okay, I'm already late. And I told my wife, I said, well, I lost a sheep. I have to go and find one of them. I'm pretty sure where it's at, and it was where I thought it was. On my way there, I said, now I see why the Bible says to leave the 99 to go and get the one. So I said, let me get these safe. I don't want to lose them all and be chasing them all over the place. But these are pretty good sheep. I really don't have to do that. So I left the 3 to go and get the 1. But I could have just left it and said, okay, it'll call out for the other ones. But then what if it gets lost? Because they needed water and they don't even know that they need water. I'm looking at these guys because they're huge, huffing and puffing and panting like dogs. And I said, boy, our people don't even know what's good for them sometimes. You tell them this and that and they're like, oh, my doctor said this though. You like, listen, you should take this herb, do this and do that, and it may help them. Yeah, but my doctor said this, or they'll be like, oh, yeah, that sound good, and then they would just never do it. It reminded me when I'm looking at the sheep, I'm like, these guys can fall out right now. I got to get them to water. They'll just keep going far and far to eat, but before you know it, before they make it back to their water, they might not make it. They might faint. And I said, boy, why? I see why the Most High called us the sheep. I had to become a shepherd over a physical livestock as well, with these cows, these goats, these horses, to understand our people more and more. And when I went to get that one sheep, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there eating in peace. Now, mind you, if they were in a land where there's beast, they would have caught that one sheep alone. They would have caught that one sheep alone. Just like it says in Ecclesiastes, like a bull straying alone, get torn to pieces. So I get it. I'm calm. I get it over there, whatever the case may be. I said, boy, I'm thinking all the scriptures. Leave the 99 and go get the one. Right? And I said, now I see why. I'm thinking about Moses when he had one of the livestock that ran so he can find a burning bush. And I said, now I see why. Our forefathers didn't even have it perfect either, because if they was getting lost sometimes and they were just roaming around walking, these guys. Now I see why they call us the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because some of these sheep and these livestock sometimes can get lost. Because our forefathers would walk them in different grasslands, prairies, different terrains. And sometimes these sheep can get curious and get lost. They can get cocky and say, oh, I'm going to go over here today. I'm not worried about the shepherd. And then they leave the body. They leave the herd and they get lost. And who comes to save they behind from the wolves? The shepherds. And they don't even know what's good for them. I said, boy, now I see why they call us the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Some of us rather be solo and do it alone, not knowing. Now the beasts have to see who they're going to choose from. It's hard for them to just catch you when you're all together. You can ramsack them together. If it's a bunch of sheep, they can just ramsack a wolf and stomp on them, together, whatever the case may be. But if one is off, one is sick. Another thing, one being sick, one not being healthy, being able to run or handle itself, because we all got work to do in these areas. One being injured or tired. We must keep ourselves from these things that this enemy is trying to put upon us. Let's continue. We're in the book of Josephus, chapter 3. Book 3, chapter 1, verse 4. But as for Moses himself, while the multitude were irritated and bitterly set against him, he cheerfully relied on God and upon his consciousness of the care he had taken of these his own people. And he came into the midst of them, even while they clamored against him, and had stones in their hands in order to dispatch him, ready to kill their own shepherd. Now he was of an agreeable presence and very able to persuade the people by his speeches. Accordingly, he began to mitigate their anger and exhorted them not to be overmindful of their present adversities. You see, the reason Moses was able to hold it down, the Most High had took the brother 30 plus years before he rescued the children of Israel. He was in prison 10 years. He went to Ethiopia, as a warrior and a king, married to the Ethiopian woman. He didn't deal with her, but he was still married to her, showing he was able to hold it down on many levels. He had taken someone's life, had traveled and do all of these different things, used the wisdom of the Most High to defeat armies, had to have all types of patience. That's why when you're here, before you get to the wilderness, you're going to have to practice these things. Okay? So, let's see where we are, because I lose my place in this thing. and exhorted them not to be mindful over their present adversities, lest they should thereby suffer the benefits that had formerly been bestowed upon them to slip out of their memories. Them being led through the Red Sea, the Most High punishing the Egyptians through all types of plagues for them. And he desired them by no means, on account of their present uneasiness, to cast those great and wonderful favors and gifts which they had obtained by the Most High out of their minds, but to expect deliverance out of those their present troubles, which they could not free themselves from. They needed a shepherd to free them from this, and that shepherd must be sent by the Most High. So he's telling you, the same people of these people, they couldn't free themselves from them. They can make a rap song. They can do all of this. You can't free yourself from the hands of Esau in this. Yeah, you might knock a few of them down. But let me tell you, these guys are like an eagle over their prey with this technology. See? You can be training in the park, getting sprayed with pepper spray and mace and feeling tough for a good day. It's no different than a Hollywood movie. See? So me as a young man traveling through Egypt with the rest of the elders and the brethren and going through all of these different things of patience, trial, error, even to come back and still do it, all of that built a different type of man. A man that is, tried in the fire to become gold. You, all of your hard works, your trials, your tribulations you're going through now is turning you and forming you into men and women of the Most High through fine gold. Through adversity, you're going to come out the fire of gold or whatever type of pleasant metal. Okay? Let's continue. And this by the means, verse 15, and this by the means of that divine providence which watched over them, seeing it is probable that God tries their virtue and exercises their patience by these adversities. He exercises our patience by adversities. Whether the devil is allowed to bring them or not, he is trying us to see if we will appreciate it, to see if we will become strong from it or we become weak and give up. Those same graces are not afforded to us anymore like when we were children. When we were children, we did childish things, and now we know the truth. We have to be grown-ups in the truth and understand it's time to pull away from those things we once had grace over before. We're slowly transitioning into the wilderness, which we will be eventually back under the rod. If you know something is not good for you, unless you just absolutely have to deal with it, you don't deal with it. If you know it got 1,000 chemicals in this Chick-fil-A sandwich, why eat it? And then cry later, I've just been going through it because, but you weren't going through it when you bit that sandwich. The spirit of lack of discipline, which the Holy Spirit in Wisdom of Solomon says, she's a spirit of discipline in the Wisdom of Solomon. Gluttony, not just from food and coveting. Okay? Wanting things that are not good for us, knowing the Most High is pushing and moving us into a certain type of lifestyle to transition us over there. Or you could just go out cold turkey, which is not good for the body. Let's continue. And this by the means of that divine providence, which watched over them, seeing it is probable that the Most High tries their virtue and exercises their patience by these adversities, that it may appear what fortitude they have, how strong they are. You see that? The Most High is not giving you something just because you're an Israelite. He wants to know what type of resilience we have as a people. How else can faith be proven? How else can strength grow? How else can patience grow? How else can love for the people because guess what? The way this thing is going, what I'm about to show, it's forcing Judah to come together. The other tribes are already coming together. Judah is still hiding from what belongs to them. I can see the fear in Judah. They talk a lot, but I can see the fear in their eyes. I've always been one to have less words. And then when I do have words, my words are very passionate, but my actions are more passionate because they follow, but they're not stupid. Okay? You must move with wisdom, but yet and still you must have the actions to follow your faith if you have it. And what memory they retain of his former wonderful works in their favor. Meaning, do you remember all of the good things the Most High have done for you, and do you appreciate them? Or are you still complaining? I was talking to a brother not too long ago about Israelites not understanding what it takes to build. I was talking to Mr. Bush, Mr. Raphael Bush about this. And, you know, he was an NFL player before. And I'm telling him, why does our people feel like, you know, they can come and give a comment or opinion on something when they don't even know how to build or they don't have it all together? We see something built, like a building built, and we come and give our opinion on it. This is my question. Have you ever built a building from the ground up? Do you have what it takes to pay the insurance for it, the upkeep, the maintenance? Do you even know the first step? And that does not belittle you or condescend to you. But why are you giving a confident opinion? Anybody can have an opinion. That's okay. But don't make an opinion about something that takes to build if you're not planning to go and build or not having built anything. See? We just read it. Our people couldn't even save themselves. Only that remnant as usual. Our people feel like we have the right to come in the most, and then they throw the Most High in it. The Most High don't like what you're doing. No, the Most High don't like what you're doing and what you're not doing. Not obeying your shepherd. See? They were not obeying Moses right here. Don't forget, these were people just like Korah. So you have these reptilians, these fallen angels. They're little AI workers, the Greys, behind the scenes, using this government, them using these foreigners to come in and do the same thing they were doing during the time of the Tower of Babel. The hidden war against the hidden ones. They call us the hidden ones because they don't want really people to care or know about us. So we stay hidden. But really, we are God's chosen people. Those so-called Negro tribes, the Native Indians also, the Hispanics, so-called Hispanics, Pacific Islanders, Filipinos. You go overseas, you see the Filipinos serving in Saudi Arabia, serving in the Egyptians, heads bowed, tying little white boy shoes. I mean, I'd be ready to just go over there and smack one of these Egyptians. I used to go to Chili's with my family, and they looking at me like I shouldn't be able to, you know, go to Chili's, go to a restaurant to pay for my big family I have. Like I should be sitting there, like one of my children should be sitting there tying one of their little white children's shoes. I'd be ready to smack the taste out of one of their mouth. But I'm like, you know what? I can't be like that. I'm gonna be like Moses, have to be on the run because I didn't bury one of these cats. You be wanting to save your own, but then when you try to, because their mindset is like that, you wouldn't be saving them. They would tell on you. That's how crazy this thing have gotten. You can go to Africa and try to save some of these people, and then they will tell on you and give you up. Christ said they know not what they do. It's not their fault, people. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. I don't even hate them for it. It's just how low we have fallen. So you must be wise. You think you can go feel sorry for everybody too? No. Let me tell you, I'm that person that feels sorry for people when I was young. And then they just, you know, trample over my pearls. Like swine, they would trample over my pearls. You know how many people I didn't feel sorry for? No. They need to know what it feels like to work and to have and to build something. Feelings, they go through life, you know, feeling sorry for themselves and not loving themselves. Let me tell you, they got hands and feet. I'm going to teach you how to fish, and I'm going to see what you can do with this. I'm not finna just bring you with me because you know, I teach 3 people how to fish. One person, he's catching 3 fish. One person, he may catch one fish. At least I know he has potential. The other person, he just sitting there relaxing, coming over there, man, what type of fish y'all catching? Brother, is you fishing? I gave you more worms than them. I'm not going to bring you along just because I feel sorry for you. I need you to show me some faith and works. And this is what happened to us in the wilderness, and this is what is happening to us now. We're trying to help everybody we can, but you have to be wise, because even your loved ones are going to give you up to some of these people. It's a hidden war on all levels, to where now they even have your own, through their weakness and laziness and slothfulness and lack of faith, they're going to give you up too. And they're going to think that they do. You understand God's work. Let's continue. And whether they will, we're going to, at the end of verse 15, book 3, chapter 1, end of verse 15. And whether they will not think of them upon occasion of the miseries they now feel. So he's saying, if they're going to forget all the good that the Most High have done for them just because they're going through something now. Don't you know when your God gave you the land of Israel, he didn't just give it to you. He wanted to make sure you appreciate it. He's like, if you want the land of Israel, go and take it. Go and take it. Ephraim, you say you need more land? Go and clear it and go and take it. You want it? Go and clear it. Go and take it, Joshua told them. They didn't want to do it. He's like, if you want it, if you really want it, that's what you need to go and do. No, the Most High didn't even just give us the land of Israel. We had to work for it. Jacob, he was given the inferior livestock. He made them even more superior than the bonds. He worked. He had a blessing that he wanted from the angel. So he wrestled them and didn't let go till he got the blessing. That's who we come from. It will not come without toil, work, frustration, experience through time. We come from a man who wrestled an angel for his blessing. And we don't want to wrestle time. We don't want to wrestle overcoming obstacles. We don't want to wrestle with trying something new if it's going to save our lives, over just doing the same old things we're used to. And just still dying anyway. Okay? God is going to rescue you. But there's some things he requires of you to do. Verse 16. He told them it appeared they were not really good men, either in patience or in remembering what he had been successfully done for them. They don't appreciate it. Sometimes by condemning the Most High and his commands, when by those commands they left the land of Egypt. Condemning the Most High for his rules and the way that he's doing things with his shepherds. When those things, if you didn't have those laws, if we didn't wake you up, you would not have been in the position that you are in today. You see, our forefathers felt the same way that the shepherds felt. People lack appreciation, not knowing it's a hidden war against the hidden ones. Check that out. By condemning God and his commands, when by those commands they left the land of Egypt. And sometimes by behaving themselves ill towards him, who was the servant of the Most High. And this when he had never deceived them. They were always trying to expose Moses. Oh, we don't know what's become of Moses. I'm better than Moses. Same old stuff, same old garbage. When our people wouldn't have left Egypt, our people would have not had the name of Ahiah, the time, or any of these things. And I'm not trying to be hard on the people. I'm bringing this out because this is important for us to really understand how to appreciate the Most High and his shepherds and his leaders. either in what he said or had ordered them to do by God's command. He also put them in mind of all that had passed, how the Egyptians were destroyed when they attempted to detain them, contrary to the command of the Most High, and after what manner the very same river was to others bloody and not fit for drinking, but was to them sweet and fit for drinking. So out of that same river, same exact river, we were able to drink and the water was sweet for us. But for them, it was blood. Just like they're going to be doing certain things in this time, and we will be fine, and the sinners won't. So when you see these administrations pushing certain things upon us, and you're like, well, it happened to them, you're thinking it's going to happen to you, and it didn't. Not that you should take advantage and not prepare and do what it. So if it's certain laws that's passed, you shouldn't try to do certain things to protect yourself. But you'll realize like who that mark of the Holy Spirit is upon. I'm not saying once again to take advantage. Do what you need to do as if you're still a law-abiding citizen, but understand that if the Most High wants to have mercy and grace upon you, he will or he won't. So, one second. But to them sweet and fit for drinking, and how they went a new road through the sea, which fled a long way from them, by which very means they were themselves preserved, but saw their enemies destroyed. And what they were in want of weapons, God gave them plenty of them. And so he recounted all the particular instances, how they were in appearance just going to be destroyed. The Most High had saved them in a surprising manner, that he had still the same power, and that they ought not even now to despair of his providence over them, because he can do the same thing if he did it before. And accordingly, he exhorted them to continue quiet and to consider that help would not come too late, though it come not immediately, if it be present with them before they suffer any great misfortune. So the Most High likes to test our faith to see if we're going to give up on him, to see if we truly have faith or do we lack it thereof. That they ought to reason thus. I got this highlighted, this part here. That the Most High delays to assist them, not because he has no regard to them, but because he will first try their fortitude. He don't want to spoil us. He don't want to spoil us like the Egyptians were spoiled. See, because that creates a brat type of nation. Okay, even though he wants us to depend on him, he doesn't want us to be weak and bratty and lack appreciation. And the pleasure they take in their freedom. Check this out. That God delays to assist them, not because he has no regard to them, but he will first try their fortitude and the pleasure they take in their freedom. So do you want to be a homeborn slave, or do you want to depend on, and I know life is rough. We all go through things. But we've come to the point that where our people, even though there's a social benefit thing, we get on it because we need it, right? I thought that's why we got on it. And then you have to have a plan, a way out, but not many of us. Many Israelites, whether they know they're Israelites or not, plan or stand on Section 8 and food stamps for the rest of their life. They don't plan on doing better. They don't even have in their mind to want freedom. They complain, oh my goodness, do you see what the government is doing? If we have we even tried to think if we can do better? If a woman is on Section 8, if she's on food stamps, did she follow the Most High, get herself together, plan to try to get out, or say, hey, maybe a husband can come and help me, get myself humble, be quiet, and stop speaking on what I can't do? Obviously, I'm on social benefits. I can't provide for myself. Maybe a man can help me do it. But when I get with the man, I'm opening my mouth and I'm taking away that blessing that he's actually able to give me. You haven't even put yourself in a way to get a husband to save you out of the situation. So you've already accepted failure. That's not freedom. That's supposed to be for people who needs it, not for you to be like, I'm going to die on these social benefits. What are you leaving the babies? If even if you was on it, you getting a check every month, okay, invest it in whole life insurance. At least if you're going to stay on that, you have something to give them years later. Okay, you don't got a lot of money. Okay, I'm going to put $150 in whole life insurance. Boom. Because this thing is coming, let me tell you, to a close. And people is trying to ride it out the whole way. Instead of just appreciating and say, I thank you for the time that I was able to hold myself down until I can do something better, knowing it's hard out here for our people. Yes, it's hard out here, and some people do actually need it. But some people can come off of it to help build our communities, build our families up, and they don't even want to try. That's that man who had that shilling or that talent, and he was afraid. So he just held down what he had. Where you have one person can be on it, they like, okay, you know what? I can get fruit trees with food stamps. I'm going to go buy me some fruit trees, set me up a little homestead, start growing my food, to where now I got a whole system working. I can slowly wean myself off of this, get me a little job at home, whatever the case may be, and boom, I'm eating off my land. I was able to get some fruit trees off my food stamps or something like that, and get certain things to set me up a little homestead. And guess what? I'm going to try to do better and better every year. But what we're reading is the same mindset our people had in the past. God delays to assist them, not because he has no regard to them, and not because he don't love them, but because he will firstly try their fortitude. Let me see if you really, it's like going to a homeless man. Sometimes you rather see you giving them something, but like in the back of every person's mind, I would love to see if this person, if I gave them a job or something, if they say they're hungry, if I gave them food, would they really eat the food or really just throw it back at me and get mad? That's like what the Most High is saying to our people. I want to know if they truly want freedom, or do they just want to be spoiled like they were in Egypt, without a God which was going to lead them to hell anyway, just because they can get some vain fame, or just what's going on right now with our people. We let all of these foreigners in who even looks like Israelites, like Gilly the Kid. No, nothing against Gilly the Kid and Wallow. Sometimes they say good things, but they're not Israelites. They're Eritrean Ethiopians. Who else? We have, let me tell you, we have other people like this guy who plays on Fresh and Fit. The guy from Fresh and Fit, he looks Khazar, Egyptian, Arab at the same time. He has a long little nose like Alexander. No offense, but it's just the truth. And he's telling our people, they ask him a question, what do you think about black women? Brother, you can't speak on black women, because you are a Homeland Security special agent with a talk show on Instagram. Trying to separate black men and black women as if you're black. So our people are losing, just like we were in Egypt, willing to take the crumbs and not be free, when the Most High is like, nah, I'd rather you have a little bit and be free. Myron Gaines, special agent of Homeland Security. Look him up. When you see the little long nose starting from here, right, and the little dark things around the eyes, no offense, I'm not trying to talk about them, but a lot of those people are Edomites mixed with Ishmael, East Indian, coming among our community, no different than Nipsey Hussle as agents, whether they're getting in music and all that. I'm telling you. I'm not saying everybody who has that as a cause, or if you've mixed with some of these people. That's not what I'm here to say. But I'm telling you, come to find out, this dude's name is Fadl. His real name is something Fadl. In Arabic, that means welcome. Fadl. When you come through, they be like, Fadli, Fadl. He's coming through telling the black men and black women, or excuse me, that the black woman is not his preference. Yeah, brother, she's not your preference because you ain't Jake. You need to go, well, whoever you are, Persian, Arab, Ishmael, whatever you are, you need to go find one of them. So we've let these people come in, and we're too kind. We got to focus on our own right now, guys. I don't care if somebody says something deep. I don't care what Wallow said something true about black businesses. How black businesses complain and they beg. Well, guess what? We built this place, and we see how everybody came in. You understand? I asked the Arab the other day. I said, listen, sir, why do I have to hop out every day to get the receipt? If you guys are coming, I just told him with all due respect. I said, why every time I'm coming out here and you guys don't have the receipt to print so I can write the receipt off? I said, I'm in a rush right now. I have to get out in this hot sun. Not that I mind, but I really rather not. To come and get a receipt if your receipt printing machine is supposed to work. And I said, he said, because I said, didn't I ask you a couple of months ago? With all due respect. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm paying for a service here. I said, you guys, you come here, and there's a white lady in there. I said, you come here, you know what I mean? And you guys are making all these millions of dollars, and you can't keep the receipt printing machine fixed. And I said, sir, this is not the only store. Everywhere there's an East Indian, they cannot keep the receipt printing machine fixed. And I said, because he was like, he was getting embarrassed because I was hitting him. And I said, listen, brother, I know you. I said, we're not silly over here. We know that you guys are the only ones coming over here getting gas stations. I said, why you don't? And the Hispanic lady is back there working in the little Hispanic taco shop that's inside the gas station. She hears me. I said, yeah, the Hispanics come over here. They don't own gas stations. Blacks don't own gas stations. I'm like, they giving you guys all type of benefits with taxes and all that. He tried to shut me up. He was like, oh, well, I'm going to tell my boss that he's making millions of dollars and why he can't fix the print machine. I'm like, dude, you ain't going to tell him nothing in my mind, but it's okay. This is these people coming over here. Wallow, excuse me, try to tell us about black businesses. And he was true. He said some good things. He did say some good things. But when I seen that nose, you remember the nose you used to be able to buy, a little Gonzo nose with the little eyebrows, glasses from Muppet Babies? They used to sell them little cosplay little noses. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, this nose is different. I done been among these Egyptians and these Arabs. This is a different type of nose. Because Egyptians, Ethiopians, and East Indians look very similar because they're all Hamites. I looked this cat up. I'm like, oh, another Eritrean Ethiopian. Because they grow up in Philly where there's Muslims, they blend in with y'all. And they grow up in the hood, and now they calling you nigga and you calling them nigga. But they not no nigga. Excuse my language. They're Ethiopian. And when you go to Africa, they hate niggas. Yes, they're racist. And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. I met a lot of them nice Ethiopians, and I met a lot of them who are racist. So I'm saying we are letting in these people come in our culture, and then we complain later. The Most High is bringing his truth forth to try to free us. And when we see a deal on the table, guess what? You're about to sign the tree of good and evil. And they're going to tell you, it was a little comedian on there on Instagram saying, listen, I'm signing you a deal. I'm going to get 90%. You're going to get 10%. And then he had him in the car, and he was like, listen, I'm going to need you to go catch a body. If you ain't catching no body, you can't be no rapper. You got to go sell a little something. Basically showing I got to get you caught up. So basically, even that 10% you have, we're going to take that from you too because we got you on tape doing something you're not supposed to be doing. See? So the Most High and the Josephus is like, hold up. I'm trying y'all to make sure, is you down with me or you just a weak slave? There you go, the Humpty Dumpty nose from Digital Underground. Let's go back. God delays to assist them, not because he has no regard to them, but because he will first try their fortitude and the pleasure they take in their freedom. Live below your means. You may not have everything perfect, but what I'm about to show you is that they're taking away some of this Section 8 zone. It's not a rumor. We call some people in California who deals with housing and things like that. Some people is getting little notices in 2 years. So we're trying to figure out, was this stuff true or not? This stuff is coming through. People who's renting houses and they do it through Section 8, a lot of that is not going to last forever. So they have to get normal renters. This whole system is changing. Okay? It's not time to get nervous. It's time to live below your means, prepare. They're even telling you what to do. Invest in some stocks and invest in some of this crypto before it turns into the market of beasts. Okay? Before it goes too public. Once it goes too public, it's too late. Crypto been out before I was in the truth. Bitcoin was out. Okay? I'm not excited about it. It's just a transition in the way of life. To where, hey, it'll free some people up if they invest right of time to do more work in the truth. Right? See, it's not about trying to be rich. Our works make us rich in the kingdom. It's about trying to buy time and make time to do more work for the Most High. That's it. Any man chasing riches, you're going to fall off. It's called, I need money. It's a defense. I need it to operate. But if I invest it right, I can free up time, whatever the case may be. You know. Anyway. So, and that he may learn whether you have souls great enough to bear the want of food and scarcity of water on its account. So meaning, he wanted to see, would you be willing to die for your freedom? Scarcity of water, scarcity of food, and be free without complaining? Or just be a little mark and go back to Egypt? Be a little weak slave and go back to Egypt? You must show your mindset now for that, because he's taking the grace off. He's allowing them to say, it's recalls on this, it's this and that. That's warnings and showing you grace is running out, that you better start trying to grow your own food, that you better start learning how to be self-sufficient, that you better start living below your means. Your God is taking all that grace he had on us away. He's allowing people to get sick and all of these different things to show you, hey, I've covered you guys long enough. We're in some different times now. It's time for you to pay attention and start to react. You're not going to be here forever. Learn how to be free and independent slowly. At least practice it slowly. Not just look, what am I going to do? Hey, Google it. YouTube it. Study it. Take a class. Take a course. Nobody can't hold your hand through everything. Show your faith. Let's read it. That he may learn whether you have souls great enough to bear the want of food, scarcity of water on its account for your freedom, or whether you rather to love to be a slave. I'm reading this from Josephus. Josephus, book 3, chapter 1, verse let me see. Wait, let me get it right. Book 3, did I say this all wrong? Book 3, would that be chapter 4? Nope, I said it wrong again. How's this thing written? Book 3, chapter 1, section 4, we are at verse 20. There we go. That he may learn whether you have souls great enough to bear the want of food and scarcity of water on its account, or whether you would love to be slaves, as cattle or slaves, to such as own them. I got to go see what doctors say. I got to go see what masters say. When your shepherds are telling you what to do now. Can't tell you everything what to do. You're going to have to be a grown up and go and study. You got to give it to your husband and wife and go and study. You're going to have to learn some things. You're going to have to ask people around here. Everything don't take college. I got Esau around here telling me, listen, I didn't go to college and I'm still out here making money. I've been doing this since I was young. And he was like, that's one of the best education. See? And feed them liberally. Yeah, if you keep allowing these people to feed you on every level, where you're not even trying on any level. At least the Most High has given us grace to transition. You're going to get genetically modified food. You're going to get red dye in your meat and your wine. Can you learn how to do something and let that and build from there? He's telling you in this old record. See, I highlighted this years ago. I highlighted that years ago. And it showed me, wow, we got to have a certain mindset. We're not here to be weak. He's not here to feel sorry for us. Now you know your God, don't you? Your God is not here to feel sorry for you. If he's giving you some wisdom, you better take the wisdom. That's why he says some books, only give some books to the wise. You give it to some Negro fools, they're going to try to take up your whole congregation, and they don't even know what it takes to build. Give these to the wise. All right. But only in order to make them more useful in their service. So he's saying they will feed you only to make you more useful in their service. They will bring you up as Masonic puppets and slaves only to make you more useful in taking down your own people. You can go take a lunch break for 30 minutes. How does that feel? You know how that felt when I was a young kid? I used to go around and say, I was working at Jiffy Lube at one point. Shala Zamara. This is in the book of Josephus. Book 3, chapter 1, section 4, verse 20. I used to go around asking these older guys, I said, how much you get paid? How much you get paid? This is what I would do. I'd be going around asking how much these guys get paid. How long you been working here? Because I had to figure out my life. I had to figure out what was I going to be doing in my life. I became so good, I made the store. I became a salesman. Always moved up very fast in business. Made the store to the number 1 store in the state. They came and told us and showed us a report. I was selling so many things. But even though I did all of that, you would have thought that I was excited. I'm going to get ready to be the manager, this and that. And I was in high school. And I said, no, I'm quitting. I'm going to go start my record label. And that's what I did. I had a plan to go live on dorm with my friend. We started a record label. We did good. I ended up starting a radio show. I ended up bringing famous people down with my own money. I ended up doing very good at that. Working. Unfortunately, I was hustling and doing other stuff, but I just did not want to be a slave, somebody that's doing this. Obviously, I had to go through learning, like, you got to keep a job, some type of way to survive. That's just how it is in America. But I always said, nah, man, it's something else out there. It's something else out there. And Father, if you don't show me, I'm going to be out here like Robin Hood, Robin in the Hood, period. And I was so serious about it. And let me tell you, when it started getting serious to where I'm taking this street life even more serious, and my music even more serious, the truth came right then and there. I was praying for it. Because a lot of you probably gonna never know that side of me, and it's all good. I washed that away. You're never gonna know this little cute face. Maybe I had to get Cartel in one day, not for bragging rights, but just to say, man, Cartel, am I lying? Am I lying? How did I get the name I'm a lion, I ain't lying? See? Let's go. All praises be to the Most High for this truth. That as for himself, he shall not be so much concerned for his own preservation, for if he die unjustly, he shall not reckon it any affliction, but that he is concerned for them, lest by casting stones at him, they should be thought to condemn God himself. So it says, for if he die unjustly, he shall not reckon it any affliction, but that he is concerned for them, lest by them casting stones at him, they should be thought to condemn God himself. So listen. One second. We'll leave it there for that. I want to go into some relative things now And then I'll bring some scriptures along the way. But let me show you a few things that's going on here. Boy, I got some news. One, we've been talking about this deportation. Fair use, educational purposes only. The hidden war. They say it's one thing, but it's really another. This is going to force Judah together. Judah, let me tell you, Judah wants to walk over each other. He sees somebody leading something. He's like, nah, it need to be done this way. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You remember that old saying? Judas, we could be giving that to the poor.
U.S. citizens, or at the very least, he's deporting their mothers and allegedly giving them no choice but to bring their kids with them, even if there are other family members in the U.S. willing and able to take the kids in. Right, and with that, the citizens in question, they're 2, 4, and 7 years old. And notably, one of them is reportedly suffering from a rare form of metastatic cancer, with lawyers claiming he's been sent away without medication or doctors being consulted, despite ICE knowing about his condition. Now, with all of that said, as of recording, the Trump administration hasn't really responded to those allegations, but it has, however, defended itself against the accusation of deporting U.S. citizens, with them saying that the women were unauthorized immigrants and claiming that they had taken their citizen children with them by choice. But one of the problems with that is that in all 3 cases, lawyers say that the women were arrested at routine check-ins, given almost no opportunity to speak with lawyers or their family members, and then deported within 3 days or less. Right, I mean, connected to all this, ICE also reportedly deported a Cuban-born woman last week married to a U.S. citizen, separating her from a 1-year-old child. And as with others, she was allegedly held incommunicado and flown to Cuba within just a few days, with her lawyer claiming that the woman was still breastfeeding her daughter, who suffers from seizures. With also another interesting aspect of this being, the push to get the numbers that Trump promised deported is reportedly not even close to being reached, despite the lack of due process, which in itself has become more and more alarming to many. Donald Trump is now deporting U.S. citizens, or at the very least.
Don't let this fear you, but I want to show you how this whole world is changing very fast. You're going to have to get ahead of these things while we have a little time left. Don't move in fear. Like I just read to you earlier, there's some things that's going to happen to the sinners or the citizens of spiritual Egypt. And some of those who are marked by the Most High will be blessed. But when I mean be blessed, you can't just sit still and think that it's going to be magic. There's some things that a way you're going to have to operate and some things that you're going to have to do. Okay? That's just one of the things. This deportation. People are going to come in, obviously, to get jobs, take jobs. AI is coming through, right? But this is the new thing that's going on while they're shifting and changing everything. All right? So that was one thing I wanted to show really quick. Next is, let's go to this article here. This is NPR.org. Trump budget would slash rental aid by 40%. This is May 2nd. And let states fill the gap if they want. So he's going to give some of the state representatives maybe the power if they want to actually deal with this on a low level or whatever. Just like he gave them certain power during the time of 2020. Okay? So President Trump has repeatedly promised to make America affordable again. But for those Americans most in need, his administration's latest budget plan would dramatically shrink the federal rental aid that helps keep millions of people housed. So they never gave us our 40 acres and a mule. They never look out for us. They're always giving incentives, money, tax benefits, all tax breaks, all type of things to these foreigners. But still, here we are. We only have each other to depend on and our God. We're going to have to use our wits, our resilience, our faith, and our works, and just make it through this. Obviously, there's not going to be any kingdom here. We're just passing through. Okay? In this request, the for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the HUD, the White House called the current system of federal rental assistance dysfunctional and proposed essentially ending Section 8 and other housing voucher programs. Its plan calls for cutting rental aid by about 40% and sending that money to the states to design their own rental assistance programs based on their unique needs and preferences. And if you come into states like Texas, they want you to work here. They don't want you being lazy here. This is the type of place that Texas is. California, very relaxed type of place. The water is there. You could just go get you a hot dog, go on the beach with a muzzle shirt, skateboard, get you some Vans on, and holler at you a chick, and you living life. Or maybe you do some side stripping on the side that most California men be doing. Okay, let me tell you, you're going to have to find some better ways than that. Because the way this thing is going, hey, it's getting real. See, in Texas, that's not going to be enough. You're going to have to work down here. You're going to have to work. They want to make sure that you are not taking advantage. Now, really, we know that this is aimed at our people. Our people built this place. Our people did all of these things. They call our people lazy, all of these things. But now, regardless of what they're saying, what we're saying, none of what we're saying and what they're saying don't matter. You see, they're pushing forth actions, and also all we can do is bring forth actions. None of the complaining, the crying, the murmuring is going to work. Don't forget, they tightened up the reins before we got rescued out of Egypt. We just got to hold on, make it through it, do what we need to do, the best we can do, and let our God do the rest. Okay? So that was another article. I don't need to go through the whole thing. Just know that these are the things that they're pushing for, okay? Here we go. We have fair use. 1 second here. I got y'all. Don't worry.
Legislation that would make significant change
K.7
to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also called
low-income households could lose food aid on the proposed SNAP cuts.
SNAP.
And its states would cover more costs that are paid by the feds now. Democrats holding a press conference to discuss their concerns. Here's Christiana Ramos.
Tens of thousands of New Mexicans could lose SNAP benefits as the government seeks deep cuts to federal spending.
House Republicans' budget would make significant cuts, over $200 billion in cuts to food and nutrition assistance.
Senate Democrats, including New Mexico Senator Ben Ray,
starving the people out like they did in 70 AD. You can read it in that same book of Josephus. This is war. This is a hidden agenda against the hidden ones. Hidden war against the hidden ones. Starving the people out. They will force them to fight, force them to be criminals, and then if you want to be criminals, you're getting caught. Remember, I told you a long time ago, they're not going to just allow these people in California to just do these, this stealing, whether it was crisis actors or not. They're sending crisis actors to do it, set our people up, having them on some third strike laws, going into prison. It's all happening now. They're setting up snares on every level. Now is not the time to be a criminal. Now is not the time to be taking advantage like these people were doing in 2020 with these PPP and all that. Because let me tell you, if you're lying, saying now, and I know this to be true. I know this to be true because I heard it personally. Basically, if you're lying and saying, oh, we only making this and doing that just to get this stuff now, they're calling to verify, and they got a new system put in place that you didn't even know they had. This new digital system, you won't be able to hide, and they will catch you up. They'll wait 2 to 3 years, 5 years, catch you up, no different than a RICO case, you know what I mean, just for you trying to have a place to stay. Okay, this is what's going on. We're going to have to tighten up. We don't need all these bills. We don't need all these fancy things. This is a whole new world.
On holding a conference Tuesday after the House Agriculture Committee released their provisions to a Republican-backed bill that would require states to cover a portion of SNAP benefit costs, tighten eligibility requirements for the program, and block future increases to monthly benefits.
If this federal money is taken to give more tax breaks to billionaires and millionaires in the Trump tax scam 2.0, they being my Republican colleagues, will eliminate SNAP access to kids and to seniors across the country. It will be devastating.
Senator Jim Townsend says cuts haven't happened yet, and families are always top of mind.
Absolutely, they're concerning, and there's people that need those benefits, and we have to take care of those people that are due those benefits and need those benefits. There's not a person in the legislature, Republican or Democrat alike, that would argue on that point.
Democrats and advocates say that this will also impact grocery stores as well, due to less customers and declining sales.
It's the whole ecosystem. It's farmers that are growing and producing the food, which is part of the SNAP dollars, and then, of course, the grocery stores, and then the most important thing, the people that need the food.
Nonprofit child advocacy organization New Mexico Voices for Children released a report highlighting how SNAP benefits kept a quarter of New Mexicans out of poverty during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, with rising food costs, Democrats say states don't have enough money to support the program alone.
I believe we're self-sufficient. I believe we can take care of our own. We always have, and I believe we always will.
Cristiana Ramos, KOAT, Action 7 News.
It's coming. So they're putting these things out there like it's just something they're talking about, and before you know it, it will be in place. You stay in an apartment, get you some containers. And I wanted to let you guys know, you can't just grow one or two plants if you plan on, growing some food. You're gonna have to grow some food. You're gonna have to get creative. Right? Or you're going to have to say, you know what? It's better for me. I'm paying this apartment. I'm renting this apartment. I might as well go rent a house with a little land on it. Even if I'm just renting it, if I'm going to be renting, I might as well rent something with some land. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. Okay? Or, hey, you get your little income tax check, save that as your down payment. You'll be paying the same thing you pay for rent, if not less. You get you a little small thing of land. You don't even, let me tell you, you can do this on less than a quarter acre. The house I was renting when I got back, it could have a food forest, and it was on less than a quarter acre. That was huge backyard. It was in an HOA. The backyard was so huge, less than a quarter acre. You do not need a lot of land to just grow your own food. Okay? Let me tell you, you can have you one little milking goat. Put a little thing on them where nobody can't hear them. Milk them. Yeah. Get your whip. No, I'm just joking. But you can at least grow you some food. And you can barter with some people. You can have you some little chickens in the HOA. You just got to look it up. Even in the HOA, you can have chickens. At least in Texas, they let you have up to 5 to 7 chickens. As long as they're 25 feet away from each neighbor. You have to do your own research and make sure you're abiding by the law, making sure you keep it clean and things like that. Boy, I had me some chickens in the HOA. I said, I'm getting me some eggs. But I made sure I looked up the rules in my area. And I said, you know what? It's time to get me a little land. And then once you learn how to operate on land, you'll be ready to get you some more land. Okay? It's just how it goes. So, yes, indeed. This is where it's going. I got one more here before I go into my next thing here. We're almost done, actually. Ho-ho! Let me skip that really quick. Fair use for educational purposes only. This is another... this is something else they're proposing. Let me tell you, all this stuff happened at the same time.
Waiver to prevent people using food stamps from buying.
They got, what's this dude name in Africa? Ibrahim Traoré or something like that, talking about rising up against Esau. You got the Israelites in America. that they're trying to say is this and that in a negative way. And they're like, hold up, Judah is rising. So it's time to bring in that famine. I'm going to go shake hands with Ishmael, my underling. Ishmael have always been Esau's underling in the book of Jasher. You see, Ishmael they came to fight against the Egyptians. And they called us, and we whipped their behind with a small amount of people. See? Yeah. So here we go. Fair use, educational purposes only. Texas asked for USDA waiver to ban junk food from the SNAP benefits.
Drinks and candy. It's part of a bigger push to regulate what people on government assistance can buy. Fox 4 Stephen Dial in the newsroom with more. Stephen.
Yeah, this came out from Governor Abbott on Thursday, but there's a bill in the Texas legislature to ban food stamp recipients from buying certain things like soda and chips. Governor Abbott is surpassing the legislature and trying to go directly to the USDA to ban certain items.
I'm banking that the people who are trying to pass that bill, they don't get it. They've never sat in the seat like I have, crying, saying I can't even get a meal for my kids.
Founder of Minnie's Food Pantry, Cheryl Jackson, did not mince words in reaction to Governor Abbott's letter to the USDA. Thursday, Abbott requested a waiver restricting food stamp recipients from being able to purchase certain items. More than 3 million Texans use SNAP benefits at a cost of about $7 billion per year. Jackson said the focus should be on giving low-income people access to healthy foods.
If they pass that law, you have to, first of all, give these people an opportunity to get to the healthy meals that they're saying, right? There's so many food desert areas in the state of Texas.
In a letter to the USDA, Governor Abbott said, quote, SNAP was created to increase access to nutritious food. This letter serves as a formal request from the state of Texas to prohibit SNAP benefits from being used to purchase sweetened drinks and candy. What's your reaction to that?
Does he not have anything else he could be working on besides sweet drinks and candy for kids?
Hours after the request from Governor Abbott, USDA Secretary.
Exactly. Can he not be working on something more important to see how, okay, you want to take things out of these food stamps for our people. Well, you need to give us what you owe us for building your stock market, for building, this United States of America. You need to give us that while you're trying to kick out the Hispanics, you see, who built this place, who were here before you, and while you are going out, with ISIS and doing all these things. While you're doing that, make sure you put some money in our pockets. Since it looks like you're trying to make America great again, well, we hadn't finished black and white talks before you let all these immigrants up in here. Now, I'm not here to argue whether this situation with them stopping the snacks, listen, I see good and bad in it. Because at the end of the day, the people who are getting these benefits, I cannot be the one. I grew up poor. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a little shack in Louisiana. A little shack in Little Opelousas, Louisiana. You see, so I know I come from the curses exactly. I know what it is to get a little food stamp, go to the store, and get a little snacks as a kid. Parents may be too either uneducated of how to bake things outside of a cake in a box. But it's going to, let me tell you, in some ways, even though this is happening, and the Most High is like, listen, Israel, you're going to have to take things a little bit more serious, because regardless of we can talk about what they're doing, what they're not doing, it's happening anyway. We don't even have time for that. We just blowing a trumpet. What can we do to make it through it? Okay, example, make healthier snacks. Get in your house, make healthier snacks. If you're a good cook, okay, start your YouTube channel. YouTube pays money. Yeah, it don't pay overnight. Okay, get some of that income in. Like, okay, they're going to make me make snacks. I'm going to make myself resilient. I'm going to take this flour. At least I'm still getting flour. I'm going to add some moringa powder to that thing, some nutrients. Whip that thing up. Make some healthier snacks. Because if you go to this little section where all the little food stamp snacks are, when you look up the chemicals that are in those, I don't think you want to be eating that anyway. And I know the healthy ones are too expensive. So guess what? Start buying more flour, and you start making your own snacks. You start making your own little crap. Now, obviously, it has to be realistic because people have to work. But I'm saying we're resilient. We're going to have to make do with what we have. And the Most High is taking that grace off, because guess what? A lot of Israelites are not listening. A lot of Israelites are not listening. And this is going to push us to either become stronger, get closer together, or it's going to push us to madness and all-out chaos, which is what they want. So some people are going to go to chaos, start burning things down, start robbing and stealing from their own. The love of many shall wax cold. But the wise and the smart ones is going to say, you know what? Just like when we went to Egypt, we didn't have no fancy stuff. When we went there, the snacks were whack. Instead of being called Oreos, they had Boreos. Now, what I did like about the Boreos is that they were more, I'm not going to say more healthy. No sugar is more healthy, but they didn't really have all the madness they had in the sodas. They had proper sugar, not high fructose corn syrup. In the Boreos, you can taste that they were more clean. But after a while, you got tired of that too, and you start making your own snacks, your own dishes from scratch. You had to make your own seasoning oils. You are going to have to get ready to do the same thing. These people ain't playing. They coming with the destruction and the sword. And because our people, as a whole, for the most part, is not listening to the Most High, he have to allow the destruction on his own people first before the slaughter comes to the Gentiles. This is why. So those of you who out there wise, who have ears to hear, eyes to see, and who smell what I'm saying, see? Hey, start using your wisdom. Take what they are giving you, go on YouTube, get cookbooks, whatever, learn how to use what you are getting, and find a way to make more income, sell things, whatever you're good at. Because right now it's a little early. Take a little money and invest in some of this crypto. I can't tell you which one to invest in. Look it up. It's time for us to look it up. You either serious or you're not. This is where we're at, guys.
Brooke Wallens, who is from North Texas, posted on social media saying that she is grateful to Governor Abbott and her home state of Texas for leading the charge and taking action by submitting a SNAP waiver, and said that I look forward to reviewing it ASAP.
So does not.
Look at Esau and his woman. They're together for our downfall, but we are not together for our uprising. And I'm not talking about an uprising against them, an uprising and standing together for our kingdom to come. They are together. She said, listen, let's see what this white woman said. She's ready for this bill to come through. A powerful moment is sweeping the nation, one that prioritizes the health of those in need. They shall say peace, peace, and then come sudden destruction, and we shall not be saved out of it. Yes, you can get you a freeze-dried dehydrator. A freeze-dryer gonna cost you some money, but really, you need to work on learning how to grow that food. You see, because you're gonna have to have some electricity if the electricity goes down for some of those machines. So you got to think about both. See, I know how to dehydrate outside too. I made me sun-dried tomatoes on some racks outside with a little cheesecloth on top. I made that thing outside, like the Indians. I made me beef jerky outside when I was in Egypt. Beef jerky, turkey jerky came out fire to my desire. All praises to a higher who never gonna retire, never gonna expire. All haters is a liar. See? So listen, we as the Israelite man, Israelite woman, we're gonna have to stick together. Look at this white man and this white Edomite, Edomite, Edomite man and Edomite woman. Sticking together. A powerful movement is sweeping the nation. One that prioritizes the health of those. Margaret Sanger's cousin. While ensuring taxpayer dollars aren't wasted on junk food, as if they really care. Now, can you take wisdom out of this? Yeah. We don't need the junk food, not the one that they're providing. So in some ways, it's a blessing. But you know, they're also cutting it from the article we just seen before. Not only are they taking this out, they're cutting it. So they're hitting it from two different ways. Why shouldn't that be in the same conversation? So they'll allow some people to cut it over there, and then they're allowing this to do it over here, and then they allow someone else to take Section 8. Do you see how they're coming in here? Little by little is how they get us. So first they get you focused on one topic. So I brung them all three together to show you, listen, they're trying to come at you like a chess player. Let me tell you, the shepherds of the Most High are telling you what's going on. We're not rich enough to take care of everybody. But guess what? We're rich enough in faith to blow that trumpet for you, to give you wisdom on how to make it through it. Today,
reviewing it ASAP.
Soda is not essential to health and well-being.
Aside from Governor Abbott's request, there is a bill in the legislature that
and this
passed
dude
the
is
Senate to limit
this dude in a whole wheelchair like a gunslinger, acting like you understand he's for the Texans, while people's tax dollars out there in parts by San Antonio are going to the land of Israel. Psalms 83. Look at their little Baphomet star and their little CERN circle right here.
that recipients can buy. But there's less than 3 weeks to go for the House to pass that.
But let's do the whole wraparound services that they need to understand why you're doing this, not just take it from them. It's not right. It's not going to work unless you do it the right way.
And guess what? I feel what she's saying, because at least tell the people, hey, educate them. But you don't want to educate them because you just like treating them like little slaves. That's why when we read the Josephus earlier, at least tell the people, hey, a lot of these parasites like to eat on these empty carbs and sugars. At least educate the people so you can push them into another direction. You just take it from them. But guess what? It's not their job to do that. It's not Esau's job to take care of us. It's our job to take care of us. And here we are today taking care of us. Will you take this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to take care of you? Let me, I got a few scriptures here. Not too many, because I'm getting tired. I want to read to you really quick. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work or try to work hard, neither should he eat. See? If you don't want to work, how you going to eat? You got great examples out there. My sister Tabitha commenting. Out there on the homestead doing it all. Doing it all. It takes a sacrifice. It's not easy. Putting that work in. And guess what? Everybody has to eat. So if you're providing food, selling whatever you're good at, you have to be good at something. That's what it's coming down to. What are you good at? If you're not good at anything, you better get good at something quick. And don't get good at something that's stepping on another brother or sister's toes. But she doing that. I'm gonna do what she doing. And you getting close to her just so you can try to take some of her customers. No. I can see if two people are good at something who didn't know each other in the body. So they wouldn't know they stepping on each other's toes. But when you got people who, let me go and, do what that person's doing. No, don't do that. Or if you do that, find your own customer base. You don't work, you don't eat. Look at the ants. Let us be in this mindset of these scriptures. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 29 and 21 says, the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in the mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. Some of you men, do you just want to be servants? You that lazy where you just want to be a servant? It's nothing wrong with being a servant, but I mean like more of like a servant, like you don't really want nothing for your own family. You don't like want to work hard. If you're going to be a servant, you have to be a servant to a great man, a great godly man. But not a beggar. Because a great man don't want a beggar as a servant. And then your son or your daughter grow up like, man, you didn't try to even work for me, build for me. You wonder why they're not going to respect that. Proverbs 27 and 23. Let's go there really quick. Proverbs 27. Let me get that. Almost done. Check this out. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. So as shepherds, you're supposed to know what state your flock is in. That means you have to check on them. See what's going on with them. Do they need to be cured of parasites, sickness? Are they hungry? Do they need water? Do they need shearing? Is one getting out of hand? Is one looking sick, leading off to him or herself from the rest of the herd? If you see that it needs some attention, maybe you need to separate that person because they will spread that amongst the rest of the body like a heretic. That's what happens to heretics. They start finding an excuse, an offense, and they start separating themselves. So you have to know the state of your flocks and look well to thy herds. Don't just look over your herds, look well to them. Look well to them. Don't be ghetto. Don't be, you know what I mean? Don't be don't just be makeshift with every little thing. You makeshift when you first started and you build from there and you make it better. We must know them that labor among us. So if I see what's going on with my people, like I was talking about the marriages earlier, I'm like, hold up. I have to speak on this because this is what's going on. Instagram is bewitching people, making them think they have time or watching other people's lives. That's not reality. You'll be looking on Instagram for the next 5 years and just watching other people's fake life of reality instead of fixing yours. You'll be watching YouTube instead of making a MeTube. You should be watching YouTube and having a MeTube, meaning a real life tube. Real life reality of what's going on in your life. Seeing where we are. Look well to your herds, for riches are not forever. See that? Riches ain't forever. You're going to have to maintain what you have, be blessed. You understand? And take care and manage this thing where you can leave legacy. See? This is important. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. Powerful scriptures. Check it out. Let's go to verse 10. And indeed, you do it toward all the brethren which are in all Macedonia. But we beseech you, brother, or we ask you, brethren, that you increase more and more. Why do I have a bunch of sheep if these sheep are sterile? If they're not making more babies, if they're not being fruitful, if they're not going to have lambs, what's the point of having them? I'm just feeding them my resources. I'm feeding them with my time, my frustration. Just to say I have them? What's the point of me having them if they're not going to be fruitful? What's the point of having body members that say Shabbat Shalom if they're not fruitful? You ain't paying your tithes, bringing your brick. You're not helping clean up after the Sabbath. You're not helping street preaching. You're not helping when we have a feast or events. When we ask for volunteers. You're not on time with your things. You're not diligent. What's the point? You want something because you're on camera, rapping, singing, teaching, but is it actually fruitful or is it just on camera? Don't forget, just because a person's on TV don't mean it's fruitful. You know how many celebrities are on TV broke? I want to be famous. Why would you want to be famous and that person is broke or going to be going bankrupt soon? You think because they're on TV, let me tell you, they got a little rack with some outfits and some fake chains and fake jewelry. That TV does not equate to riches. Instagram does not, equate that it's fruitful. Numbers don't lie. So if you got numbers, I'm going to give you an example as a leader. If you have numbers as a leader in your congregation, you got 30 people and 2 people paying tithes, that is on you. That's on you, leader. You need to see what's going on with your sheep. They need parasite cleansing in their mind. They need a faith check. What are they here for? That means you spending gas money, whether it's yours, whether it's the church. You coming out, and these people, yeah, praise the Most High. Hey, can you praise it with your hands like that works too? To continue to build and continue to bring in more? I'd rather have those 2 people and the rest of them go on out because they ain't trying to do nothing. I can build from those 2 people. That's what the Most High said to us in the wilderness. Hey, y'all can travel 40 years in the wilderness. I deal with the little bit amount of people, and I will build from that. See, when the rest of my goats or whatever and some of my sheep, some of them died, some of them I slaughtered, I'm like, listen, I'm going to start with this small amount, and I'm going to build from that. Get them strong. Their genetics is going to be more stronger, maybe more parasite resistant, whatever the case may be. Same thing for the body. I'll build with the real ones in the body who's humble, consistent, diligent, not complaining. A lot of them complain, but then they should be complaining on their life because they ain't even doing it in their own life. You ain't complaining about that. Because if you complain about it, you will be doing something about it. But I can't be surprised. You come in here and you're not doing nothing, but you ain't trying to do nothing for yourself. You don't even love yourself. We have to love ourselves. So we can love our own brothers and sisters. You need to increase more and more, not stay the same year after year, people. Even though you're content, you can be content with what you have, meaning you're not spending nothing. You're maintaining what you have that's blessed, but you're still increasing because increasing can help further the work, not increasing for filthy lucre's sake or riches. If I'm planting a vineyard or extra for the poor that's outside, that's a good thing. Because when the poor is coming by, they have something to eat. Because I know the white man or everybody else ain't going to try to feed them. So now I have more. And, and I'm not talking about people who says, I'm getting money so I can help the poor and pay the tithe and support the church. And then they never do it. You know how many times I've seen and heard that too? I'm going to get this money for the church. And no money ever comes. We're not talking about the talkers. We're talking about the walkers. No walking dead. Okay? Increase more and more. What did I say? I'll say can't grow with your child or children. How can you grow with? I'm going to stop. I don't even know what that means. Increase more and more, and that ye study to be quiet and do your own business. You don't study to go get cocky and say, "Oh, the Most High don't like what y'all doing. He don't like that." He like what you doing though, right? The person who we taught and who never had none, he likes what you doing. Everybody, the Most High likes what this person's doing. Let's go follow that person. Please. What type of God do you think we serve? He's not the author of confusion. Study to be quiet. If a shepherd says, listen, I need you for this, I need you for that, be ready in due season. And whether it's season or not the season, be ready. That's when you're ready for that answer, because you never know when it's going to come. But learn how to study and be quiet. Be as one that know it, but keep your mouth closed, like it says in Ecclesiasticus. But that's when you start, I can't follow man. You can't follow man, huh? But you sure following a white man to get that paycheck. You sure following the white man to get them loans, them grants. Yeah. That's a man who's giving that out. Who giving that paycheck out every week, every 2 weeks, once a month. Quarterly, whatever. That's a man. Don't you follow him and say, hey, boss, I ain't getting my paycheck today. Yeah, you following a man, all right. You following a man, my sister. When you go to work and then at home, you can't come home and follow your man. You might as well marry the man at work, because that's who you following. That's your real husband, because you follow him and you're not following your husband at home. Go ahead and be a second wife to him, because that's what you really are. You marry a dude at work, a white dude, Arab, East Indian, whoever, and you know you can't like him, maybe don't like how he smells, no none of that. Then you come home and turn into a transformer, because you turn into a man when you get home trying to boss your husband around. And you want to talk about LGBT. Please, you a part of that group. You come out the closet as soon as you get home. And then we got the men who comes out the closet too when they get home. He act like a little, you know what? Because the wife is just telling this dude everything what to do. And if she leave, he's shedding tears. He got to put on a little R&B song like back in the days just to keep her. Y'all living in the wrong time. Let her go. You know how many women it is? You ain't read Isaiah how many women it's going to be to these men? Work on the Most High, and he will send you what you need. You think she just pretty? It's a lot of pretty ones out there. But a lot of ones you seeing is pretty ugly. They pretty on the outside, ugly on the inside. You ain't know all Israelites have shape and body and outward appearance. That's nothing new. See, let me tell you, you be with the Most High. He seek the kingdom, everything else should be added unto you. They've been betting on their beauty, but their beauty runs out. How many selfies can one take? And you like, why this chick ain't married yet? She's still taking selfies on Facebook, Instagram? If she's so pretty, why nobody ain't bag her up yet? If that means something's wrong with Shorty, possibly. That means there's some attitude around there. It ain't as good as you think. Somebody should have done bagged it by now. Well, stop taking the selfies then. You're making it look bad. You're looking for attention. Get the attention of Christ. That's the woman who the other women be like, she's not even on social media. How did she get picked? Ha ha! Because the Most High sent the man to her, just like he used to do in the old days. Send Isaac to them people over there, and you're going to find a woman over there. Everybody on Facebook. Let me tell you, if we go to Instagram right now, all you're going to see is booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere. That's what you're going to see. None of them is wives. All you're going to see is whores and whoremongers. So let's take it back. What did the scripture say? We ask you, brethren, that you increase more and more in the faith, in your patience, in your experience, in all your works be fruitful. You can't be a fruit tree and don't grow fruit. You are a fruit tree, children of Israel. You come to the Sabbath. Where is the fruit? Why are you not increasing? You still going through broken homes and marriage problems. You ain't take the academy. You didn't took the academy and you still stupid. You still a fool. You got to step your game up. Study. Humble yourself. Huh? Somebody said that the broadcast stopped for anyone else. No, all you have to do is just refresh it. We still here. Increase more and more, and that ye study to be quiet and do your own business. Mind your own business. Work on your household. And when you come to the Sabbath, if everybody's doing that, the kingdom is working and building while these people are trying to tear us down. They're tearing down a physical kingdom while we're building a spiritual kingdom. Obviously, you're doing physical things too. Come on now. Duh. Right? Why? And to work with your own hands, not begging people. We all need each other sometimes. That's not what I'm talking about. I should have to say everybody goes through something sometimes, falls on hard times. That's never what I'm talking about. But the whole nation can't be going through that. We're going to have a talk. Work with your own hands as we commanded you, that you may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that you have lack of nothing. This is the image of an Israelite. So these are the things that we have to do, because they're going to be slowly bringing in their agenda, trying to toss our people out their houses. This is what's coming. I want to bring this one last thing when it comes to our people not seeing these hidden agendas behind us. Even in Hollywood, I want to show this. Let me see this. We so focused on this rap music. And let me tell you, boy, we don't see rap falling. One second. Fair use, educational purposes only. The hidden ones fighting against the hidden ones. Each Puffy everything he know, I guess. These are the people who's behind it all. And let me tell you, 2020 was one thing, but now they have this new thing out there called Ozempic, and our people, instead of just going directly to changing the diet and to changing their health, getting, starting on exercise and things like that, we take shortcuts. And we know the scripture says anybody who comes through another door is a thief and a robber. Right? And this is something they have people on, this Ozempic stuff here. Let me show you guys. Boy, were they acting crazy on that video. Lord have mercy. I tell you what. I hope you ain't watching that. My first time seeing that thing with that. Lord. So look, this is what some of the Ozempic faces they're saying are. Check this out. I'm not making fun of these people, but I'm saying people, let me tell you, check that out. We're going to show you. That's one. We're going to show you a few things. Okay. Some of them is in denial, lying to you. I ain't taking Ozempic. Uh-huh. Yep. I ain't taking Ozempic. I just joined the Olympics. Yeah, I bet. Ozempic face. Health.clevelandclinic.org. What is it and how to avoid it? Look at that. Wrinkles, sunken eyes, more prominent bone structure, thinner lips, sagging skin. When you start taking Ozempic, make you look like you start joining the Olympics. No, I'm just joining. You may feel hopeful and the results to come, But it always is important to know about the possible side effects, including a harmless but sometimes unwelcome effect of Ozempic face. Woo! What is Ozempic face? Refers to the changes in the face that can happen with rapid weight loss, explains endocrinologist Vinny Macon, MD. It's characterized by gauntness, sunken cheeks, new wrinkles, and loose skin on the face and neck. See, they get our people where we're vulnerable. They get our people where they're vulnerable, and they always tell you to take the shortcuts. So they hitting us on all sides. Health, sky, what you listen to, what you see, when you want to be among the elite. The worshiping of the gods. The worshiping of the fallen ones. AKA these reptiles. 1 second. 1 second. We're not done yet. Oh, whatever. We're not done. Look at that. Sharon Osbourne regrets taking Ozempic and advises to sue. Friends are urging, this is evoke.ie. Friends are urging Sharon Osbourne to take action against manufacturers of the drug. Nobody else seems to look like Sharon after taking it, another friend told me. It has completely changed her. She looks awful at times, and she knows that Ozempic hasn't been so kind to her. There is another reason why Sharon is so worried about her health, and that's because Ozzy is extremely unwell. Oh, yeah, the little Satan worshiper dude that she's with. So, yeah, let me tell you, it ain't just Ozempic. You worshiping the god of the Olympics. See? Let's dive a little bit more into Ozempic really quick. Since we're talking about our health. Stop taking the shortcuts and start moving. Get your butt outside, start gardening, start running, start exercising, start lifting a little weights, tighten your skin up. Start doing some chin-ups. Okay? Too many excuses. Increase more and more. Fair use, educational purposes only.
I told you it was venom. I didn't know it was venom. I looked it up. What kind of drug is this? Oh, it's a GLP-1 drug. What the hell does GLP-1 drug mean? Never heard that in my life. Holy crap, it comes from the venom of a lizard? I want to ask you, all of you at home, how many of you are convinced that you or your loved ones are overweight and diabetic because you have a Gila monster venom deficiency? And oh my God, God forgot to put enough of that damn Gila monster's venom in your body, and you ran out. Now you're fat and overweight and you're diabetic. So now you need to inject that venom inside your body every week, once a week. This is the insanity you live in. This is the deception you live in. Just because they called it Wegovy and Ozempic and said it was FDA approved, did I go, oh, it must be safe and effective. I don't know why these people's stomachs are being paralyzed and why they say they're going to develop cancer in their thyroid after a year. Really? Go look it up. I didn't know anything about this drug. It didn't even exist when I graduated school. How did I go on platforms like the Diamond and Silk Show the very next week? We bring this up and I'm educating the whole world about this drug. And then everybody's calling me, wanting on their shows to talk about, oh my God, it's another drug made by venom. They never told you it was.
See? The hidden ones against the hidden ones. Yeah. 1 second here. If you don't know what a Gila monster is, there you go. Ozempic literally came from a monster, and it's not alone. Why you think they look like a monster when they start taking it? The toxic bite, this is on sciencealert.com. The toxic bite of a Gila monster can kill a human. And you will put that in you? But a specific ingredient in the cocktail of the lizard's venom. Oh boy, you wonder why 2020 came and they were trying to put all of these different things there. 1 second. Turn them lights up there. Right? They would, let me tell you, putting the serpent's poison, putting a scorpion stinger. The venom is the reason we have a glucagon like peptide agonist like Ozempic and Wegovy. At the end of the 20th century, endocrinologist Daniel Drucker was looking at a hormone similar enough to human guts GLP-1, which would have similar appetite suppressing and blood sugar regulating qualities without being broken down by the human body so quickly. But look what it's done. Look what it's done, people. Look what it's done. One of the top-selling drugs worldwide originates, ironically, from snake's venom, but is far from snake oil. Lisinopril reduces the chemicals that constrict blood flow, which is why it's prescribed for high blood pressure. Check it out. High blood pressure, cognitive, heart failure, and heart attack survivors. Check that out. Woo-hoo! The Most High told us, you shall be getting bit by serpents. You shall be bitten by serpents and not die. You shall be getting bit by serpents and not die, eating poisons and not die. But now when you get the knowledge, you have to educate yourself and know what to do. Now this same doctor there talks about, nicotine gum and things like that, of, some things about how it helps in these situations. That's all I'm going to say. You have to do your research on that. All right. And 14 days later, some of these poisons or something like that, that I have to piece it far apart in a parable way. But do your research on it, okay? So, but the maker of its natural form, the Brazilian viper, evolved to produce enzyme inhibitors that help venom spread smoothly through the doomed body of its prey. Listen, guys. What do we have here? He assembled a team to find a molecule that will help surgeons see cancers with the naked eye, and thanks to newly DNA databases, they were able to find a suitable candidate in a matter of weeks. Its unlikely origin, the venom of one of the most dangerous scorpions on Earth, Death Stalker. The isolation of peptide chlorotoxin CY5.5 had already been found to bind ion channels on the brain tumor cells, but not to normal human cells. A lab version made tozuluristide creates a kind of light up paint under near infrared, has allowed researchers to see cancerous clusters as a few hundred cells in rodent studies. Light up on the paint, huh? That sounds like a Lucifer rays almost. From GLP-1 agonists to chemotherapy treatments, Lord have mercy. Its incredible toxic potions brewed up by the animal kingdom used to improve and save human lives. An humbling reminder that the answers to our problems may be found in unexpected places if we are willing to look further afield, and of course, if those species and their habitats still exist by the time we get there. You see how they do that? By the time we get here, look what they're showing you, exactly what the scripture said. Scorpion stinger. Like it says in the book of Revelation. The serpent. The lizard, the reptilians. Woo-wee. They want everybody to turn into that. Not only are they hitting people from what they're putting in people's arms in 2020, you guys would be trying all of these things. You try everything instead of getting your behind walking, running, lifting weights, lifting stretch bands, doing something. You would try everything. Well, doctor said, okay, let me tell you, you go to Dr. Mad, whoever, Dr. Mad Scientist, and you're going to get what you're asking for. You're going to get what you were asking for. Last video for the night. Fair use educational purposes only.
It's warning that within 12 months of use, it increases your risk for every form of medullary thyroid cancer. Oncologists around the world who are getting new diagnosed cancer patients, if they're on Ozempic and Wegovy, 100% of them are developing breast cancer in less than a year using Ozempic and Wegovy. People magazine last week reported that there's thousands of Americans who are reporting eye-rotting diseases being on Ozempic and Wegovy. Their eyes are literally rotting in their orbits of their skull. Do you know what Ozempic...
They get you looking just like these reptilians. They get you looking just like these reptilians when you get on it. Skinny, looking like a little lizard. So let me tell you, guys, they take us when we're vulnerable, when we're depressed, when we're stressed, when we have thyroid issues where we cannot lose weight. Or even when you're already small, you want to lose more weight because you get this self-esteem issue of, what do you call that? Anorexia. I mean, I pray Megan Good ain't on it because baby girl just look even more smaller now. A lot of these celebrities is on this stuff, guys. They're not going to tell you that. But a lot of them are struggling with this. They're struggling with this behind the scenes, guys. It make them look like they on crack cocaine.
Wegovy is made of?
No.
It's a venom protein from the Gila monster.
They cause the unhealthy diet, the gluttony, the covetousness, and then they come back with a so-called cure. Let me tell you, they're going to hit you on all sides if you ain't paying attention.
Lizard, the forked tongue of...
Be wise as a serpent. See, they're wise as a serpent. And harmful as a serpent. We have to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove until Christ comes back. But they're wise and harmful as a serpent.
Lizard is what they use to make Ozempic. The Smithsonian Institute was interviewed and they were asked, how deadly is Gila monster lizard venom? And do you know what Smithsonian reported to CNN? Gila monster venom is actually more deadly and more toxic than a western diamondback rattlesnake. It's venom to humans. All right, everybody, ask your doctor if Gila monster venom is right for you. And then I'd like to ask you, anybody taking Ozempic and Wegovy, I'd like to ask you, do you believe you're overweight? Do you believe you're diabetic? And do you believe you have heart disease because you're Gila monster venom deficient? Ozempic has a black box warning that within 12 months of use, it increases your risk for every form of medullary thyroid cancer. Oncologists around the world who...
Why you think I came out with the Lugos iodine? Oh, Elder, I'm getting iodine in eggs. I'm getting iodine in my sea moss. Okay, get it. You can get that. Hey, but I'm going to tell you what's going on out here. I want you to be the test subject for eating them. You eat 30 eggs, and you can have this person take one drop of this Lugos. And then I want to hear the testimonies when you come back. On both sides. Because I see how they're attacking that thyroid and hormones where people can't gain weight. People can't lose weight. People are having so many type of situations. When people are having cancer, if they're not taking something to help their thyroid when they have cancer, it becomes worse. Iodine is one of the number one important things when a person has cancer. You don't know that? You didn't know that, did you? Yeah. You can read that from doctors like Hilda Clark, the lady, I think she's from Canada. Okay, so it's so much information out there, guys, that they're attacking us with. They're attacking our hormones, which is going to cause emotional tangents and emotional unbalances all over the place. The whole world, thyroid is attacked. All right. My website is KIIYsupplements.com. Somebody can type it in the chat form. But I can tell you that after. Let's continue.
New diagnosed cancer patients. If they're on Ozempic and Wegovy, 100% of them are developing breast cancer in less than a year using Ozempic and Wegovy. People magazine last week reported that there's thousands of Americans who are reporting eye-rotting diseases being on Ozempic and Wegovy. Their eyes are literally rotting in their orbits of their skull. Do you know what Ozempic and Wegovy is made of?
It's going on. It's not just Ozempic, it's this food, this processed food, these chemicals, these dyes, all these different things that we have to start transitioning off of. This is where we are. They show placenta of a person who took the situation, who took the situation in 2020, and let me tell you, that thing was looking totally rotten. That thing was looking totally rotten. Okay? Let me give you an example of this here.
My hamburger. It's in a box in my closet. This is the sack that it came in, and it was advertising a NASCAR race in 1996. So this dates the hamburger in its sack to 24 years old now. The French fries look like they maybe could have fallen under your seat a month or so ago. They've never rotted or decayed. The hamburger itself, the bread has never molded. The meat has never rotted. It's never even broken. It's completely intact. So, 24-year-old hamburger. Not sure what would happen if you ate it, though. So, you want to see my hamburger?
So she has a hamburger. She has a hamburger that's 24 years old. You understand? And yeah. That's that. There you go. I'm gonna show you something else really quick. I'm gonna show you guys something else. So this is another part of the agenda where our sports players are being caught. Fair use for educational purposes only. If you have children, your children shouldn't be up this late right now. I want to show you this. What they got our brother Shannon Sharp going through. You got some Edomite girls in skimpy dresses. You got these sports players that they bring up on the white massa because they just trying to get out the hood. Right? And they get these girls in the room. And then before you know it, you end up like Shannon Sharp. Huh? You know, what somebody said, they love that snow until a blizzard hit. In the comments, Lord have mercy. They say they love to deal with the snow bunnies until a blizzard hit. Meaning until they come back and sue you and lie and say that you did something that they didn't consent to. This is another part of the agenda they're hitting us with. Well, we cannot control our temples. You understand? So we have to come back to the law of God. Fathers have to tell their sons to wait. Build a foundation. Understanding that the devil's going to send you things your way and you must deny them because sometimes there's a false blessing that comes before the true blessing of the Most High. And you know, what happens with a lot of, you know, no disrespect, because I you know, there's beautiful women in every nation. Even some white women have nice bodies nowadays. They've been working out, doing whatever they need to do and all that. But some of them are still raised spoiled and still raised in this, you know, pornographic, fornicating type of mindset. They're free in their colleges. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, that's just what the Bible says, that Esau is very free. until they understand discipline. They're very free. The Bible said you can't be like Esau the fornicator, because that's really, they're just free with everything. They be dealing with each other and all that. And so when they come to the chocolate, man, you know, they just waiting to unwrap the chocolate Snicker bar. And so you have to know how to keep yourself, brother. You have to know how to keep yourself, or this will take you down. And now you can't stand with your rightful queen. So once again, this is not to be racist. This is just Judah is having an issue with one another. We have to be, listen, how are you going to bring back the kingdom of the Most High and Judah is not representing with the Israelite man and the Israelite woman? I get the passport bro things, but you can't run away. Like, who's going to show the image of the Judite man and the Judite woman? Who's going to show that image? Just because some of them are not listening, we're going to have to find the ones that are, just like we find the men who's listening. Or there will be no image. It'll just be an image of Judah came back, but he had to get a Vietnamese, or he had to get an Arab, or East Indian, or Persian, or Iranian, or Edomite woman. And you know, no. Nothing against the people who have their wives and their husbands. But to the Jew first, and then also the Gentile. We have to speak the truth. So brothers, young brothers, this is what you have to be aware about, because let me tell you, the devil comes in, because she may not have the type of outward appearance as a sister, she gonna wear more skimpier clothes, which takes your eyes right to the bedroom very quickly. This has been one of the oldest tricks. You never notice how an Asian woman, a white woman can walk outside with Daisy Dukes like it's just normal. Since we were little, no one says anything. It's just a normal thing. I mean, young girls be 14-year-old, their Daisy Dukes is coming up where you see a butt cheek popping out. And they don't even have really too much back there, a lot of them. So they have to take you straight to the bedroom. And their moms are teaching the daughters to be like this. So the daughters grow up, and it's usually like one black man can have 5 white girls to himself. This is just how a lot of these girls are raised. That's why that video the other day, I couldn't let that white woman speak as if, oh, black women just want us white women. No, we didn't have the rule of law of our God, the statutes and the commandments to know right from wrong. Not that we didn't know we shouldn't fornicate, but let's be honest, we're in a nation of fornicators. And they're just, you know, having a little fun because they don't know that there's rules. They don't know what hell really looks like. They don't know that they're kings and queens. They don't know that there's a diabolical plan against them in every sense or how it goes. They're just trying to get out the hood at the end of the day. Okay? So, hey, at the end of this night, obviously, if one of them can take him and marry him, they would. But regardless, whether they marry him or not, their life is going to be okay. But they can change his life. Whoever can turn his life upside down when they want to, whether it's one of these women or whether it's one of their parents who don't like him, or whether it's whatever corporation he plays ball under. See, when I'm in the gym, a lot of, Edomite women, they may not have that type of body, so they got to wear shorter clothes because they need the man's mind to go quicker to the bedroom because they don't, they can't compete with that. They have to show chest and all these different things. And let me tell you, sisters, that's why God told you guys, you can't be like the nations. And what I don't like as a man is that women is not leaving an imagination anymore. It's just for everybody. Now you're becoming like the rest of the nations. And then you tell them, man, oh, you can't look at me, you can't touch me. How? You coming out in front of the world like that? Come on now, we got to do better. This is a part of the war.
Y'all wanna go with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? All 3 of y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, make it a party?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Let's do it. Sex party. Yes.
Yeah.
Me as a foursome we're doing.
You heard it? You heard what she said? She said, sex party. Look. So this is what her and her homegirls do. I thought they just supposed. Let me tell you, I know my sisters, homegirls ain't supposed to be getting together doing all this, huh? Esau will forget about his blessing, his birthright, when it comes to a piece of meat. Nothing have changed. Some of this is in their children. It's a few of them who have denied the flesh and who are good people, good Samaritans. But some of them still have this. Let me tell you, she like, hold, if I can get with this tall, cold glass of water, black man, I didn't forgot about college. She let me tell you, she forgot about everything. She didn't hit the jackpot tonight. And she's like, yeah, you guys want to join? We can do a line. We can do some lines and all type of stuff. Huh? But guess who looks like the bad guys on television? Our people. Regardless of how many lines they do, how much promiscuity they go through, they will never look like the bad people. Puffy looking like the bad person, but what's the guy who was over Playboy? What's the guy? Hugh Hefner. He ain't gonna look like that. See?
You know that?
Big booties.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Immediately no.
Can you lift your shirt up?
I'm telling you right now.
Wow.
See, you know what I needed to see?
What?
Is that him?
Right? That's all it took. See, that's all it took.
Where y'all wanna go?
Wherever you're going.
Y'all wanna go with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? All three of y'all?
Yeah.
Make it a party?
Yeah.
So they jump. They don't even know him. The setup is already there. The heart is warming up. He's like, hold up. This is what being a sports player is like? He's like, where y'all want to go? And look, he don't even know if these girls are sent to him. She said, we want to go to your house. I mean, dude can wake up tied up. You know what I mean? They send a tranny in there on him, or they take his money. Anything can happen to this dude. They poison him. So let me tell you, you got to be careful. The hour of temptation is upon us. The one on the left said, we want to go to your house, and they all in one mind together to take this black man down. And then sisters will come along and say, oh, why he want to be with them white girls? Because you don't want him. You don't want him. You know how I know you don't want him? You want him, but you want him so he can do everything you say. So you mad when he's with the white girls, but you don't want him because you're not willing to do what he says. So it's both sides. So you got the big black man in here, but you telling this big old black man what to do. Does that make sense? He don't want another man. He want a woman. These women, the one thing I can say, regardless of their fornicating mind, they're staying in their femininity. Now it's on the wrong side, but this is what he sees. He sees soft women looking at him like a king. He go to the sister. She playing hard to get, all of this stuff, knowing she want him. When she do get him, she don't appreciate him. So he's like, dang, these white girls looking at me like a king. And our sisters have to master femininity and stop being so rough and having attitudes. Judah don't want it. They're going to the other nations because the other nations is staying in their femininity. We have to remaster what that looks like, my sisters. Oh, I'm sorry to tell you. You're going to be out here hoping for somebody to protect you. You being rough is not an option. That's what you have to tell yourself. Being rough and not being quiet is not an option. Having something to say, trying to correct and run him. Well, guess what he's going to do? He's going to go back to the snow bunnies. He's going to go to the dust bunnies, the Arab Ishmaelites. He's going to go to the island bunnies. Whatever type of bunnies. Stop. And we've been through a lot. But the black and mild face, the strong black and mild face with the dark lips, put that black and mild down and get you some bleaching cream and come back to where you're supposed to be. Bleach them little dark spots in them lips. Pray to the Most High. Get baptized. And humble yourself so we can come back together and build this kingdom. Because they willing to do whatever. They like, listen, it'll be 3 of us take this black king. Now, they ain't going to end well for him. But, it ain't going to end well for him.
Let's do it! Sex party! Yes! We as a foursome we're doing.
Now listen. Hey, danger. The dragon is among them. You think this is the first dude they went around? And let me tell you, if they didn't put that 2020 up in him, my brother, it's over for you. Huh? Let me tell you, if they didn't put that 2020 up in him, my brother, it's over for you. You don't see all this. Let me tell you, this is a hidden war against the hidden ones. You got the brothers in Africa, they don't have money. And so the older white woman will come to them and pay them money. Man, we getting hit on the air, the food. Huh? Keeping our, not keeping our honor. Whew, boy. Anyway, I'm your host, Elder Ariaga Boy. We will be coming back on very soon, a little earlier. I have to find out with AC what I'm going to use for you guys to call in. I do have some gifts to give away. And stay tuned, man. We got a lot of good stuff to come. We will be having that trivia very soon. It's already set up. You understand. And I thank you guys for staying with me tonight. I'm going to go get me a little rest, a little food, even though it's late. And bless you all, and I love you all. Peace and blessings, okay? Make sure you go to historytimes.org so you can join our Hebrew and Bible Academy. And if you want to get healthy, go to KIIYsupplements.com. Please do not come to my supplement website to actually ask me about if a lesson is coming out or like things about the class or the lessons. It is a professional website about health supplements. This is not to come on that thing and say, Shalom, Elder. No, because it may not even be me on that thing working there. I'm just telling you guys there, please, okay? It's there for you to come purchase your supplements to get yourself healthy. We cannot put things where you tell us, can you leave this at my door? We are not the mailmen. We have mailmen come and pick it up to ship it to you, okay? So when we get some of the stuff on Amazon, which we will soon, maybe you can tell Amazon that. But once it gets shipped out, it ain't in my hand no more. Anyway, peace and blessings, guys. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to go to historytimes.org.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth